a year earlier, but fell short of expectations. On Wall Street, the Dow fell 128 points, down to 29,219. While the Nasdaq fell 66 points today. It was largely on coronavirus concern. There was a spike in the number of cases outside of the United States. Domino's Pizza said strong carryout sales helped it get better than expected financial results in the fourth quarter, despite increasing competition from delivery companies like Uber Eats and DoorDash.
And we like
My connection is unstable. I love that catchphrase. Yo!
Yes.
You don't believe some of the ridiculousness these people are talking today. So we have a rash of people driving their BMWs into fucking crazy situations and then running. The human brain is worth $600. I didn't know that.
With the purchase of CHFI, Canada's first FM radio station, Ted Rogers changed the communications landscape forever, bringing us all together in ways we could have never imagined.
Fuck you!
60 years ago, Ted Rogers started our company to connect Canadians to the people, places, and things that matter most, and to make more possible for all of us.
More. You won't believe how big your fucking cable bill can get.
9:30.
You would not believe how big your cable bill will get with these people.
This is 680 News.
Here are Scott Burnett and Christine Ritchie. Good evening. This is Thursday, February 20th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
No deal for Catholic teachers. They'll join the 3 other major teachers' unions in a province-wide strike tomorrow that is expected to shut down schools across Ontario, leaving about 2 million students out of class. Another suspected case of coronavirus turns up in BC tonight. This coming as a plane carrying hundreds of Canadians from that quarantine cruise ship expected to land at CFE Trenton early tomorrow morning.
It's back to the drawing board for Ontario license plates. The federal government calling the new blue plates defective.
An 80-year-old woman dies of her injuries in hospital
now they're
after a big
defective. They
crash
said there was
outside
nothing
of a
wrong with them
shopping
for a week.
plaza in
Now they're
Vaughan.
defective.
3 others were also sent to hospital.
The Leafs put forth one of their best performances of the season against the Pittsburgh Penguins, while the Montreal Canadiens looked to grind out a win in Washington. Sports at 45. Another record-smashing day at the corner of King and Bay. Red ink on the big board and Victoria's Secret sold. Business at 50 cents. News time 9:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawkins.
This report brought to you by the 2020 Canadian International Auto Show. It is a very slow drive on the westbound 403. West of Winston Churchill, we have 3 left lanes blocked for the collision. Only the right lane is squeezing past here. And so you go from 4 lanes to 1, right at the same place to get past this collision.
It depends where you're moving from.
From west of Erin Mills Parkway to west of Winston Churchill. So exit the highway. Don't even bother with this. Sitting in it, you'll go nuts. West 403, exit the highway at Winston Churchill.
Even the traffic reporters here know what it's like.
And then you can use really any alternate you like. The easiest ones to get to are if you take Erin Mills south to Burnhamthorpe, you can use that to get west over to Trafalgar Road and then north back up onto the 407 if that's where you're trying to get to. Or you can use Winston Churchill or Erin Mills Parkway to go south down to
Rexdale's full of sewer
allow you to
gas.
get west over to the 403. Then you can rejoin the 403 and continue your travels west that way. But certainly don't consider sitting in this delay because it's just hardly moving through this stretch. It's not a long stretch.
You're too special. Don't do that
west of Winston Churchill, only a couple of kilometers worth, but you honestly could crawl on your hands and knees faster than traffic is moving right now, so don't bother with that. The rest of the highway is really not too bad right now. We've got a little bit of construction on the westbound QEW through Ford Drive. The left lane is blocked, minor delay there. And there's a minor problem on the westbound 401 right underneath the Allen in the Express. The right lane is blocked by crews. Stalled vehicle here being hooked up to a tow, but no delay. It's the 2020 Canadian International Auto Show presented by the Toronto Star and Wheels.ca. Transformative times on now till February 23rd at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre.
Yeah.
Your next report at 9:41, and with the forecast, here's Natasha Ramsa. Hi.
High pressure taking over. That means clear skies tonight, sunshine through the day tomorrow. We'll wake up to wind chills of -17 and get up to 2 degrees through the afternoon. Southwest wind 25 to 40 kilometers per hour. Through the night tonight, we're down to a low of -10 degrees.
Right now in downtown Toronto, a clear sky, -7, feeling like -13. 680 News Time, 9:33.
What's this phone number? I say my phone
Between
number. It's
Ontario's
this phone
Catholic
number.
school teachers and the Ford government end yet again without an agreement. This says Ontario's public school teachers are set to march on Queen's Park tomorrow to coincide with their scheduled province-wide strike.
680's Phil Martino tells us organizers expect as many as 30,000 teachers and supporters tomorrow. She joins us live with more. Phil.
Scott, no deal for Ontario Catholic teachers. The president of the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association says elected members will join teachers and education workers across the province in a full withdrawal of service tomorrow. The job action by the 4 major teachers unions is expected to shut down schools across Ontario, leaving about 2 million students out of class. Now, Harvey Bishop, president of the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation, tells me it will be the first time in history all 4 education unions will be taking legal strike action together. Teachers and education workers will be picketing at various schools and politicians' offices across the province, but in Toronto, the only picket location will be the legislature. So it's expected to be a massive turnout. In response to tomorrow's strike action by the 4 teachers unions, Minister of Education Stephen Lecce says while union leaders are continuing to organize further disruption, our government remains focused on getting deals that ensure students are learning each and every day. Phil Martino, 680 News. 680 News Time, 9:35. Breaking news from British Columbia, where the province has announced a possible 6th case of the new coronavirus. The patient is a woman in her 30s who recently traveled to Iran. Provincial Health Officer Dr. Bonnie Henry says she's now in isolation at her home.
Fraser Health is actively investigating the close contacts, and a number have already been put in isolation. We'll be doing a detailed investigation of her travel when her symptoms
BC has a wonderful reputation of taking care of public health problems, like AIDS and hepatitis, and heroin, and cocaine, and crack, murder,
symptoms. She added this case appears to be a
taking care of all that
disease, which will now be sent to the National Microbiology Lab in Winnipeg for confirmation.
And happening right now, Canadians who were stuck on a cruise ship in Japan under quarantine due to COVID-19 concerns are now on their way home. The worldwide death toll now sits at nearly 2,500, with over 76,000 confirmed cases, mostly in mainland China. 680's Moment Crutchy is more
this
on
shit
the
as a
flight home.
favor.
For more than 2 weeks, over 200 Canadians were stuck on board the Diamond Princess cruise ship in quarantine. But now Foreign Affairs Minister Francois Philippe Champagne says the charter flight sent to bring them home is on its way back to Canada, expected to touch down at CFB Trenton early tomorrow morning.
In Trenton, passengers will be assessed and transported to the NAV Canada Training Institute in Cornwall to undergo a further 14-day quarantine.
The Director General of the
People
World
that run
Health
the air traffic
Organization
control.
says the situation is improving.
What risk is there to expose the air traffic controllers?
New confirmed cases. We're encouraged by this trend, but this is no time for complacency.
Health officials here in Ontario say the first person to test positive for COVID-19 is now fully clear of the virus. I'm Momin Qureshi.
The Ford government
The people
now
that are
says a
testing
new
positive
enhanced
were fully
license plate is
clear,
on the way
too.
following complaints. The current ones cannot be read at night. 680's Richard Southern joins us for the latest.
It can be read in the daytime either.
218,000 of the new blue license plates have been produced, but they're probably going to have to be thrown away. The Ford government says a new so-called enhanced Ontario license plate is being developed with 3M. The government says they'll be available in less than 3 weeks. Drivers who already have a blue plate will get the new version in the mail. Of course, these plates
But they're not required to change it.
from police
There's
officers
nothing
from
requiring them to
Canada
change
and
it.
others because they were very difficult, if not
They
impossible,
can't
to
force
see
you
at
to
night.
change your
It
license
wasn't
plate.
until yesterday that the Ford government admitted there was an issue with the plates. Richard Southern, 680 News.
680 News Time, 9:37. An 80-year-old woman has died after a serious collision this afternoon in Vaughan between a Maserati and an SUV. 680 Stuart McGinn joins us from the scene near Rutherford Road in the 400. An 80-year-old woman was among 4 people taken to hospital after this collision here at Rutherford and Weston, but police have confirmed she since tragically died of her injuries. This crash happened right outside the entrance to a plaza, with the scene spanning adjacent intersections on either side of Rutherford Road. The brunt force has left the front end of a blue Maserati completely crushed, while a black SUV appears to have rolled over after being hit. Before things got cleaned up, several people came by to see the incredible damage left behind.
I
saw all this debris here and everything, all this aftermath. Now, a third vehicle was involved in this collision later on, but no serious injuries were reported there. Police are now hoping witnesses can come forward to help them understand what exactly led to this fatal crash. In Vaughan, at Rutherford and Weston, I'm Stuart McGinn.
680 News Time, 9:38 now. The Auto Show Report brought to you by Lexus of Oakville.
Bet you didn't know that one of the world's rarest and most powerful supercars is made right here in Canada. The Felino CB7 is the only Canadian supercar in current production, and later this year, an even more powerful CB7R will be rolled out.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck, because I guarantee it's crap. They've killed everything good that came out of this country in terms of manufacturing and engineering. Yeah, that number rings this phone. It's a landline, so I don't pay for the calls, so I don't care who has the number. When I found out that the phone company was selling the phone number to the banks for some reason, I started getting phone calls from banks and shit. I'm like, I never gave you this number. In fact, it's illegal for you to call me on this number, no matter how you got it, because that's Canadian law. You put your phone number in a comment on Facebook, and the company goes, oh, that's their number, I'm going to call it. Totally illegal. They're not allowed to do that. If you didn't give them the number, they're not allowed to touch it, use it, add it to their database, nothing. So Bill Blair is telling us that they've done what we asked. We didn't ask them to just move a little bit away. Oh, you're going to be 10 miles down the road with the same 10,000 troops, eh? We told you to get off the fucking land. Potato head, potato head. Look, I got Bill Blair. I got fucking Trudeau. I got that white bitch from the U.S. claiming to be Cherokee, and she's got like less than half. She's got like 1/4 of the amount of native DNA that the average American has. She is the definition of white supremacist. Fucking, you can't get a cleaner, whiter bloodline in the U.S. That's not possible. She's got less native DNA than the average American. Anyway. Bill Blair's telling us that he's expecting us to move now. He's expecting. Bill Blair, I'm gonna beat your ass with a baseball bat, you pussy. Or go ask 11 Division what happened to my softball bat, eh? Go the fuck back to London, you pussy. And there's an audio clip of some representative of natives, I guess, talking about how it's overreaching and there's a number of other fucking things. It's typical misogynistic white male. I'm this, I'm that. I'm gonna tell you what to do. No, you're not, you chauvinist pig. Pig, 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 pig. Oh, you thought you were a pig because you have a badge. No, I have a badge too. Micmac Police Warrior Society. You know what no one ever calls us? Pigs. No one ever calls us pigs. Everybody knows we're police. It's you fucking idiots that didn't realize we used that word. You know, we use that word because we're speaking English. I don't know what fucking word we would have used in our language. Again, that's on you, not on me. I owe a favor for this. Better get me fucking high, Brethren. I hope I waited long enough. I waited long enough that this gets me high. There's tobacco and everything in it already. Motherfucker. How the fuck did you do that to me? Oh, shit. If I try to start music. Let's try it anyway. Oh, are you fucking kidding me, man? So that didn't start playing. And I think I know why there's no sound. Tobacco already in this motherfucker. Like seriously.
Hello. This call is from the.
If you're gonna do favors like that, don't do the fucking favor. All you did was waste this week. I'm not gonna complain to homeboy directly, but seriously, he don't usually do anything like this. I know people that do shit like this all the fucking time. I know somebody that swore up and down they smoked me 7 joints in a row. I'm like, you still didn't hand me that split you were supposed to hand me at all. I know people that will smoke half a joint to themselves, put it out, and go, wow, that was a good joint we just smoked, right?
my fucking cash on, mash on, black market loans, get your pass on. Fast on my feet, no fence, no changes, no lead, no cases, no bled, no faces, those dead, no.
Welcome to the Cousin C Show. Now sit your ass the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Get the gas mask when we pass that. 1D rappers, where your ass at? You went last week, enjoy the past week. Lucky wow, it's everlasting.
Doses, I break the mostest, cause I spit it hotter than toasters. Check my name out on all the posters. When I hit the stage, drinks hit the coasters. Women packed all the way to the third row. We ain't in a strip club, we call it per bro. I don't know what you heard, ho. I'ma tell you straight, baby, I'm a surf pro. Running game like a pimp, bitch. Yeah, I'm running game with a limp, bitch. The big dog gonna teach you some tricks, bitch. Get out there, catch a date and stack my chips, bitch.
I'm getting nothing out of it. I'm gonna fucking end this video. This motherfucker just sabotaged my fucking video is what it is. We gotta go back out, make money, and then come back. Yeah?
Future, track bruisers. Caught the beat in the back of the cruiser. Fuck the game up, Karma Sutra. In my Red Rover, I will run right through ya. Growl on the mic like a beast should. Go hard on the beat, think Clint Eastwood. Walk on water, everybody knew he would. Written in the scriptures, scholars knew he could. On my own, Julius Caesar. Take away my world, I only need her. What you coming? Only wanna be heard. The phoenix shall rise upon my return. Get the gas mask when we spark that.
How much was it?
I think we parked that.
The gas mask when we pass that. 1D rappers, where your ass at? You went last week, enjoy the past week. Must be why our music's everlasting. Get the gas mask when we pass that. 1D rappers.
I know what to do. Creative problem solving. Motherfucker, I can't believe you just fucking did that to me.
I Coco, so loco. Whoop, whoop, no popo.
You're running low on papers.
I'm so pro, go so slow, in a low, twisting like Toto. Oh no, throwing game like Tony Romo. Even the G's love me, no homo. With the crew, that's a no-no. I'm hydro when I flow. When I flow, it's tidal. Surf the beat, watch my roll. Grab the mic, kick hard like Tyrone.
Yes, man, when we pass that. 1D rappers, where your ass at? You went last week, enjoy the past week.
I'm gonna go complain to him, I'm gonna prove a point.
Yes, man, when we pass that. 1D rappers, where your ass at? You went last week, enjoy the past week.
I'm gonna prove a point. These little crumbs and sticks I got are gonna get me higher than the fucking joint the guy gave me. I owe him a favor for it now. Motherfuckers, I hate it when people do that shit. Tell me you can't do it. Just tell me you can't fucking do it. Don't fucking do shit like that. You're gonna see me get more pissed off on this split than I was in the first place.
Fresh out the drink and I'm back, don't sell them. West side up here, rolling with the clickers, no felons, no telling what I do. To get my fucking cash on, mash on, black market loans, get your pass on. Fast on my feet, no fence, no changes, no lead, no cases, no bled, no.
There was a little piece of weed right there, I can taste it.
You don't wanna try me,
I found the weed in the joint. Motherfuckers, I hate it when people do shit like that.
Keep mask, gonna identify holes in the hide, but I'll find a way to end the life. I don't play so win the night, breaks the skin.
Swear to God, if he comes up with this, I'm stealing his customer shit, like just like these other people used to do, it's gonna be a problem. Man. I don't want to hear that shit.
Lacing the sun steps, I ain't a suspect. I ain't on the list, I'm a no-face killer. They don't know I exist. I got my 9mm situation, it's love. My cap track, never back, once it gets stuck. Cause I'm run, walking down with my motherfucking no face mask on. Black market, don't get your mask on. My
You want to check out something really fucked up? Want to check out something really fucked up? The man's up there watching videos from Halifax, TEDx videos, about mixed blood, black, and Micmac Indians. So I mentioned that to him, and that's what I am, because I know he knows that, because I've said it to him before. The motherfucker's studying me. When he finds out I told him the truth, he fucking does this to me. He fucking literally gave me a fucking cigarette. There's more tobacco in there than weed, and it still didn't fill the paper, eh? Like, fine, don't do it. Don't do me the favor, brethren. That's not a favor. It's not a fucking favor. I walked away thinking, okay, I can clear my head. Look at me. I'm more pissed off now than when I started. Fucking pussy old shit. I got some sticks here I'm going to break up. I'm going to do a little fucking side-by-side comparison. I bet you these sticks I break up will actually get me higher than this, because there's more of them. I'm so fucking pissed off about this shit now. And I seriously want to punch people when they walk up and breathe out in my face. Like, I'm from the street. I'm used to crackheads acting retarded, so I don't breathe in when someone walks. You know, you startle somebody to go like that. No, I never do that. You ain't never gonna trick me into inhaling whatever the fuck you spray and all. I know how the fucking spies kill people. Little gases and things. I know. I know how crackheads spread diseases. So fucking these people try this shit. They've known me for fucking long enough. When they find out what I am, they start acting different. And I'm supposed to not fucking notice it. There is no more weed left in that. I tasted one little piece of weed out of all of it. There was maybe 2 or 3 little pieces. What a fucking waste of my fucking time. It'll cater. I don't get that. They'll cater to people that perpetuate the white supremacist narrative, and they themselves aren't even more than half white. They're half white, so they're, white supremacy is good. White, that's what dub stands for. Oh, get the fuck out of here, nigga.
The moment you receive this message, I need you to get back to me on my department division number.
Fucking shit. I can't believe these motherfuckers keep doing this shit.
945 954. Hello.
They told me to.
William.
It skips back 3 tracks. I gotta skip forward 15 because a whole bunch of extra tracks pop up. I don't understand this. This is not a playlist if it's not playing in fucking order.
They told me them wicks and nickels is better than. What the fuck it is, nigga? Grinding, that's the motto we live by for timing. Playing games, we got no time, grind. Till our stacks so high, right?
For all the niggas who are close by, if you ain't about to please stay on the lower side. Big gun, eagle eye, that'll get
There's
your
more actual weed in these pile of sticks than what that motherfucker just handed to me as a joint.
Niggas act sick like my niggas won't air you or talk tough till you see me creeping in your rear view. So I dare you, if it's me you wanna harm G. Shots make your heart stop, I'm out in a heartbeat. Always on my feet cause niggas sneak for the right price. When these dark streets I keep it close like a nightlight. When I let it go they take it off like a race. Niggas always rap, why you think this mask on my face? Why you think I'm on this block making cash different ways? Nipping through these heads of shots, pushing back your waves. Your mom catching graves when my niggas sit and laugh. But it's a straight face when I stick them for the stash. Yo, cause John knows I got some stacks at my base. But I'm still robbing niggas like I'm flat on my face. Still shooting shots, no shoes, get them laced. Do the same dirty, get away with no trace.
Grinding, that's the motto we live by, put time in. Playing games, we got no time, grind. Till our stacks so high, right? For all the niggas who are close by, if you ain't about to please stay on the lower side. Big gun, eagle eye, that'll get your soul fried, grind. That's the motto we live by, right? Tell all of your foes sides. Yo, I'll ride out for the close ones. Crunch time, do time for the close ones. When it comes down in the long run, you niggas broke, I'm the man with the long gun. You're fucking with the wrong one. If my niggas broke, I'ma break. I'ma get you smoked out like a dope head. Nigga OD from this chrome lead. You owe me, pay me, or I flip things. Anything I find is mine, then I'ma check. Certain niggas shouldn't chip, better off with a check. Certain niggas shouldn't grip, freeze when they see fence. Freeze when they see goonies. But it's nothing like the movie. Bunch of young youths with nothing but a smoothie. But we still on our fucking. And the streets done cuff me. I'm counting money, got me feeling so lucky. Still feeling cursed cause I sleep with a duppy. You niggas all sweet and me I'm on my munchies. I mean on my crunchy. So come try something. I love guns and my gun loves me. Strap on my side like a wife and a hubby. Clean shit, nice shit, no kid cutting.
They keep moving that damn business report back. They've moved it back 2 full minutes, bro.
The strap with me, I got the strap with me.
The people that actually make money listen to the business report. Let's fuck with them and put 2 full minutes of commercials.
They told me them Wicks and niggas is better than me. They told me them G-Way niggas is better than me. They told me them Reacher niggas is better than me. That is definitely me. I don't see my enemies in miles away. I'm up the niche, I had a child today. Product of environments and alleyways. Like why these rappers wanna blame me? There's something more dick than Sam G.
I can see green from one end of the paper to the other. Oh my god.
I had to give it to him. About 5 times my drama make the notes in my videos. Won't get 100,000s of views on the south side. I recognize the G-Way, Region Park, and Southside J. That's where the demons were. Wrestle barrel by the meter long. Tears in your eyes when you see your mom. Let the boys not free, but and freedom come. Go against me's a Mac versus a BB gun. Fuck boys, they didn't think we gon' throw some shots. Fuck niggas. Same vodka, bitch. This is a Mac 10 beef. What's wrong with them?
What's wrong with them?
That Netflix youth with Down syndrome. They're like 5 foot nothing. Get slapped down, by the shot, and my niggas swinging back round, then you gon'
messaging in its advertising. Leslie Wexner, the 82-year-old billionaire that ran the company for decades, is leaving his position as CEO amid the deal. All right, meantime, switching gears here, those who love the lingering smell of greasy fast food are in luck. McDonald's is debuting a collection of quarter-pounder scented candles. Yes, indeed. It's a 6-pack of candles, each smelling like a different component of the quarter-pounder. One like beef, the other ketchup, there's a pickle, a cheese, and an onion, and a sesame seed bun flavor. McDonald's stock not smelling so
Sesame
well
seeds
today.
ain't
Was
got no
lower,
flavor, bro.
$215 US a share.
You literally
Wall Street
just
was
said you're
in
gonna
the
make a
red.
white bread flavored
Coronavirus
candle.
concern, the Dow was down 128 points, 29,219. S&P down 12, Nasdaq down 66. The TSX was higher, up just 18 points, but that's another record finish at 17,944. CN Rail stock up just over $1, $124 and change, amid perhaps some progress on the rail embargo front. Gold up 1,620 US dollars.
They're calling it an embargo. Yes, that's a good term for it.
This is 680 News.
You do business with them, we're going to stop you from doing business with anybody else here.
These are young people I've heard about.
Embargo,
Yes, sir.
that's exactly what that is.
All I have to do is point.
Yes, sir. All you have to do is point.
That's exactly what that is, an embargo. Oh, we're an innocent company. CN's trying to play innocent. We're not involved in the fucking rape of Indian land. Really? What about all the dead gooks that blew the holes in the mountains through this native land? You're going to tell us that didn't happen? We didn't build the railroad, and you didn't build the railroad. Who built the railroad? That's as fucking retarded as fucking smoking half a joint and telling me that I just smoked half the joint. And then putting it out. This is the fucking logic of these fucking idiots, man. And there's always these people identifying as white. And every single fucking one of them, I know their actual background. They ain't fucking white. They're at best, they got a white parent, which means a parent that told them they were white. Now compare them to actual British and Austrian and Germans and Australians, all this shit. They ain't white. They ain't white. So fucking how the fuck are you white? Why the fuck are you fucking doing this shit to me? Because you think what? They're gonna suck your dick if you suck
One shot to have you niggas screaming like the opera. Hit black like Oprah. Straight King Cobra. Top left.
Watch, I'll get higher off this than what I did off that fucking crumbs.
Listen.
I didn't see what he put in the paper. That's why I started cussing right here when I opened it up.
One shot to have you niggas screaming like the opera. Hit black like Oprah. Straight King Cobra. Top left over your heart. Shoots through shoulders. It burns like second degree. But who's stepping to me? Flee free. Right hand when I ejected out 3. Rich niggas move calm and collective. That chain ain't shit unless your palm can protect it. My palm can protect mine. Empty of the tech line. I don't give a fuck about jail. I'll do dead time. Best find your body in the building cause we killed you. Like who's realer? Got tools like Bob the Builder. All I really wanted was a gun and a vest. Like who's next to get shot in my complex? And I'm straight stressed. Rob money when time's less. I'll take a nigga's bezel, leave a nigga timeless. I grew up with no motivation. Drive right past the cops and investigations. Pump with no registration. Pull me over like, sir, we arresting you. Shotgun, stolen car, and cats on the register. You say tomato and I say tomato. West End Toronto, squirt heat like volcanoes. I must confess, my life ain't get your first papers on top. God, not fucking hurt. All I got left is pride and my dignity. And the finger in the middle if you ain't digging me. My family matters, the big guy, Carl Winslow. Minus the badge, a big strap, glass windows. Stay cool like the other side of the pillow. I serve shots like the fox on the fucking fiddle. Don't know your name, so you better take it slow, dog. Yo, MCA, where the fuck's Kane and no dog? You little faggots better run up, cause I won't stop till the zipper on my body bag is done up. Heard you got drugs, then Jeezy's gon' pick up. Roll up with his lip up, big bong, this a stick up. 7-5 block, bust shots, you'll get lit up. Beat backs like a hiccup, burn naps like a sit up, nigga.
West End Toronto, squirt heat like volcanoes.
Welcome to the Cousin C Show. Now sit your ass the fuck down and shut the fuck.
They told me them wicks and niggas is back.
Show you one time, force you to learn. I'ma show you one time, force you to learn. Then
It's over for you clowns and you forfeit your turn. Torture and burn, kill with no remorse or concern. I put your ashes on a medal in a porcelain urn. Court is adjourned, life bids handed out, no speaking. You better watch your step, cuz no sleeping. But your goons in a hot whip, slow creeping. Hopping out, masked up, the flow deepens. Season cast the blasted for no reason. They ride for the cause, blasted the Mohicans. Blast of a dying breed, you don't wanna die and bleed. You will perish violently if you see the iron squeeze. Time to leave, shit is gonna get mucky. No miracles, you ain't gonna get lucky. It isn't gonna play like that. You gon' stiff and you gon' stay like that. Lay right flat, you gone. Bah, it's a homicide. Family and your mama cry, permanently traumatized. On the grind and the murder rate is on the rise. Only the strong survive, you gone. Bah, it's a homicide. Family and your mama cry, permanently traumatized. On the grind.
Catholic Teachers Association, according to the President Liz Stewart, discussions were respectful, but they did not result in an agreement, and OACTA members will join those teachers and education workers across the province in a full withdrawal of service tomorrow. Harvey Bischoff, president of the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation, tells me tomorrow will be a first.
Well, tomorrow, for the first time in history, all 4 education unions will be taking legal strike action in response to the 4 government's cuts to education, which they have already begun to unilaterally implement and which they want to deepen over the next several years.
In Toronto, the legislature is the only picket location.
Not one of these people expects to be working 12 years from now. Not one of them. So they don't give a fuck about your kids learning anything. They don't give a shit.
Unions. Minister of Education Stephen Lecce released a statement that reads in part,
while union leaders are continuing to organize further disruption,
our government remains focused on getting deals that ensure students are learning each and every day. From Latino, 680 News.
680 News Time 10:05. This news segment brought to you by.
And all the times you argue with them, so a teacher wouldn't do that. Yes, they fucking would.
British Columbia, where that province has recorded its 6th case of suspected coronavirus. It was found that a woman in her 30s who recently traveled to Iran. The worldwide death toll from COVID-19 now
how'd she get it going to Iran?
2,500 out of over 76,000 cases, mostly in mainland China. As 680's Rare Enough reports, the BC woman is the first to test positive in the province after visiting a country other than China.
The woman is from the Fraser Health region, and Provincial Health Officer Dr. Bonnie Henry says she is in isolation at home.
Fraser Health is actively investigating the close contacts, and a number have already been put in isolation. We'll be doing a detailed investigation of her travel, when her symptoms started, and determine whether we need to investigate or notify people who are on the aircraft she returned in.
The woman went to Iran in January and returned this week with flu-like symptoms. Now, this case appears to be a mild form of COVID-19, which still needs final confirmation from the National Microbiology Lab. I'm Rhea Renouf.
And happening now, that charter flight sent to bring Canadians who were held in quarantine on board a cruise ship in Japan, now on its way back to Canada. 680's Mama Qureshi has more.
More than 200 Canadians spent over 2 weeks in quarantine aboard the cruise ship, a place the Director General of the World Health Organization says COVID-19 was able to spread.
Of all cases outside China, more than half are among passengers on the Diamond Princess cruise ship.
The flight chartered by the federal government is now on its way home from Japan. It's expected to touch down at CFB Trenton early tomorrow morning.
Like 2 people.
Those passengers will be examined
3,600 fucking
to Cornwall, where they will be put back into quarantine for up to 14 days. Here in Ontario, health officials say the man who was the first confirmed case of COVID-19 is now clear of the virus. I'm Owen Qureshi.
They made them old people wait 2 weeks before letting them out to die.
Say they are having problems reading the new Blue Ontario license plate. So the province has now made quick work of getting better, more enhanced license plates to Ontario drivers. 680's Richard Southern with the latest on plate cake.
It's take 2 on the plates. New ones are on the way. Premier Ford's
I said this shit looked like plastic. Listen to who makes it.
License plate is being developed with 3M. It will be ready in less than 3 weeks. It says for those drivers who already have the new plate, the enhanced version will be mailed to them. Many, including some police officers, complained that new blue plates just weren't visible at night. It wasn't until
Who the fuck is going to purposely change their license plate to a more visible one?
Richard Southern, 680 News.
680 News Time 10:07. A crash between a Maserati and an SUV in Vaughan kills a woman in her 80s and sends 4 others to hospital. 680 Stuart McGinn joins us from the scene near Rutherford and the 400.
It's a crash many people who live in this area tell me sadly comes as no surprise because it's a stretch of Rutherford Road that's notorious for speeding. Police haven't yet said whether speed played a role in the crash, but they did confirm an 80-year-old woman has since died of her injuries. The front end of a blue Maserati was left crunched. A black SUV damaged at every angle, showing all the signs it might have rolled over.
Poor black SUV. What about the black man that gets shot up in Rexdale?
Your police constable Andrew Bell tells me somehow another vehicle became involved in this crash.
The third vehicle came into collision following the initial impact, and that driver had no serious injuries.
That victim was among 3 others sent to hospital with minor injuries. Police are asking now any witnesses to come forward as they try to piece together what happened. In Vaughan, at Rutherford and Weston, I'm Stuart McGinn.
680 News Time, 10:08. The RCMP in BC agreeing to move their officers away from a pipeline construction site in the Wet'suwet'en First Nation.
That's not
and the
what you were
federal government
told.
believes that should be enough to end the solidarity.
Why would that be enough?
That were sponsored
Should
across the
be.
country.
Should. What?
RCMP has sent a letter to Wet'suwet'en chiefs saying they're moving their officers from the original blockade
A
site to
letter.
a nearby town still in the territory. Public Safety Minister Bill Blair believes
I didn't
that
get a
gesture
copy,
should
bro.
lead demonstrators in other provinces to end their protests.
The time has come for the barricades to come down.
But Molly Wickham-Slato, a representative for the
mine's going up now, you fucking
and the
homo.
government hasn't fully engaged.
You hear this white supremacist? Go look up a picture of Bill Blair.
It's disrespectful.
He's the whitest fucking
Indigenous
guy you
ministers
could
have
find.
offered to meet and hope to do so over the next few days as chiefs visit blockades in Ontario and Quebec. Meanwhile, conservative
He's got all the
leaders here
inbreeding
use his
teachers,
call
too.
for police
Check 'em
intervention
out.
to halt the protests.
There are farmers who haven't been able to move grain. There are people who have been laid off.
The NDP calls
They're
for
harvesting
social media
grain
to
in
resolve this.
January.
Cormac McSweeney, Parliament
They're
Chair.
harvesting grain in January. Did you hear that? They're harvesting grain in January.
680 News. Introducing Monfair by Cremont. A new mid-rise condominium residence coming soon to Brampton.
And if the price of grain drops, they dump it in the St. Lawrence River, straight out of those train cars. They tip.
To the GO station. Charming.
You think I'm joking? Go look up the footage somewhere. I saw it on cable TV. Here's it.
Unique community. 1 and 2 bedroom suites starting from the mid-300s. Register at Fremont.com.
So according to the government, storing up food is bad.
680 News Time, 10:10.
Now the 680 News gas price update, and predicts the price of gas will go up 2 cents at midnight to $1.15.9.
I got higher off those sticks than I did off the fucking middle fucking crumbs you gave me.
On the car today, a much better way. Visit OntarioCars.ca.
Listen here, my friend, and I'll offer a little advice. Why scour the
And I see
city
this
looking for a
motherfucker every
usable
fucking
car
day.
when you can easily visit OntarioCars.ca and find a large selection to choose from. Couldn't be simpler. No clutter, just cars. There's all-in pricing from our trusted sellers too, and all purchases are protected by a compensation fund. Find your gem at OntarioCars.ca.
Think gummy bears are innocent? What if I told you that I triple dip and lick my fingers in between? Or that I always bring 50 items through the express checkout? I'm also infused with cannabis, but my high's delayed and unpredictable. Imagine if your kids got a hold of me.
Cannabis edibles aren't as innocent as they look. Learn how to talk with your kids about their potent and
Because
unpredictable
sugar and
effects
petroleum are good for you.
freekidscanada.org.
Sugar and petroleum are wonderful for
News
you.
Time, 10:11.
A natural plant oil, that's
This
dangerous.
report brought to you by TSC.
Newborn
The only spot
babies
we're really seeing
cannot
delays
suckle
on the major
without
routes right now is
THC.
on the westbound
It's
Gardner.
in mother's milk.
They have taken out 2 of the express lanes there for some construction. So that is just around the 427 Kipling area. They're not exactly able to pinpoint
I can't
which
find a girl to let me
spot
do that,
this
so I
is
gotta smoke
completely
this.
located at. But in the meantime, we do see the delays, and they're backed up just from approaching Islington, or actually now to Royal York, all the way to the 427. So the delays are getting longer. It's just in the express lanes, though. The collectors is moving fine, but then once the collector and express merge right past or just approaching the 427, it's kind of just a steady
Motherfuckers
line of
watching a
delays
video
there. So just a heads
confirming.
up, it's going to be a little bit slow getting onto the West
I'm
KW
black,
this
and black
evening,
people
but
been here longer than white
it's not
people.
too bad.
And he does this shit to
Otherwise,
me.
we do
Why the
have on
fuck
the
would you
eastbound
do that to
401
me?
at Bayview and the express of right
He
lane
knows I got
closed. The
sickle
warning
cell.
sign
He
ramps to
knows
the
I
highway
need
are
this
also
shit as
shut down at
medicine.
this
Why
time.
the fuck would you
Westbound
even
on the
bother? Tell me
401,
you
just
can't
a
do it.
little bit of construction
Tell me
here and
I
there,
owe you
nothing
some
really
money and
impacting
give
your
me
drive.
more.
We We do have a right lane closed off on the ramp to Young, but that's pretty much the only thing that might affect you. Southbound on the 400.
That's not the only thing going to affect me. It's a good thing I don't drive
no delays there
anymore.
And then just jumping back down to the
That's
QEW westbound area, we do have at Ford Drive 2 left lanes closed, and that is for maintenance as well. And then southbound 427, the collector ramp to the Gardner is closed for maintenance. Treat your skin to powerful minerals and incredible hydration with Elizabeth Grant's Caviar Cellular Recharge Duo. Get it at TSC tomorrow and save big. Shop tsc.ca. Your next report's at 10:21 with the forecast. Here's Natasha Ramsahine.
Precipitation free tonight and tomorrow. In fact, clearing skies. Tomorrow is sunshine. We just have to dress for that morning wind chill of -17, so a chilly start, although seasonal, and then up to 2 degrees in the afternoon with a southwest wind up to about 40 kilometers per hour. Still clear Friday night, but by Saturday morning, we're back into flurries to start. We'll get more sun in the afternoon, and then temperatures start going up to 5 degrees. Tonight, we're down to a low of -10 degrees.
And right now in downtown Toronto, we're sitting at -8, feeling like -15 with the wind chill, and we have a clear sky. 680 News Time, 10:13.
Turns out turning the memory of legendary artists into a glittery
more THC resin there than there was plant material. What he handed me.
Reaction to the Whitney Houston hologram, which made its TV debut on the British morning show this morning. Fans dragged it on Twitter, one writing very creepy, another calling it a money grab and saying it looked terrible. The hologram has the blessing of Houston's estate, and her stepsister Pat Houston admitted to this morning that, yeah, it doesn't look exactly like Whitney, and it isn't her. But the show will give fans the Whitney experience and allow them to feel Whitney's presence. The hologram tour kicks off February 25th in the UK and is expected to hit the US in the fall. Jason Nathanson,
isn't that idolatry?
680 News Time, 10:14.
Wherever the road may take you, BMW has you covered. Starting February 14th, take advantage of the ultimate BMW Auto Show event and get rates as low as 0.99% APR for up to 60 months. Plus, credits up to $1,750 on select in-stock 2020 models. And with every new BMW purchased, receive a no-charge 4-year or 80,000-kilometer scheduled maintenance package. May be combined with other offers. Conditions apply. Offer ends February 24th. Visit your BMW retailer today.
Green Park and Starling are proud to bring beauty to life. Your life. Welcome to Mountain View Heights, an oasis community in beautiful escarpment country. Nestled within a rich network of parks and trails and featuring amenities and transit options, Waterdown is only 10 minutes from Oakville. Phase 3 opens this spring. Don't miss out on this stunning collection of semis and singles in the heart of Waterdown. Register at mountainviewheights.ca.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. A clear sky in downtown Toronto, -8, feeling like -15. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Christine Ritchie. Here are the top stories this hour.
A no-go yet again at the bargaining table between Ontario's primary Catholic school teachers and the Ford government. They'll join Friday's province-wide strike by elementary educators, thousands of which are expected to carry signs and make their voices heard tomorrow at Queen's Park. And BC gets another suspected case of coronavirus. A woman in her 30s who recently traveled to Iran. This as a plane load of Canadians who were trapped on that quarantine cruise ship off the coast of Japan.
She went to Iran. How'd she get Wuhan coronavirus? I can't be the only person with that question.
It was a much-needed win for the Maple Leafs tonight. They had a lot of noise surrounding them after Tuesday's embarrassing loss in Pittsburgh, and they delivered in a big way.
And Maria Thunderby made it, the shot scores! Off the face-off! Jake Muzzin let it go, and I don't know if anybody touched it. Murray was down and up into the top corner, and the Leafs open the scoring here tonight.
Muzzin's 5th of the year opened the scoring, and Toronto would get goals from William Nylander, Kasperi Kapanen, and Zach Hyman, while Freddie Anderson made 24 saves to pick up his second shutout of the season. The win moves Toronto back into 3rd in the Atlantic, but Florida can regain that spot with a win in LA against the Kings, with that game getting underway at the bottom of the hour. Some other scores from around the league saw Montreal pick up a 4-3 OT win in Washington. Philadelphia edged Columbus 4-3 in overtime, and the Winnipeg Jets scored 5 unanswered goals to score a 5-1 victory in Ottawa over the Senators. And to golf, where Rory McIlroy has a 2-shot lead at the WGC Mexico Championship after an opening round 6-under par 65. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour, or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 10:17.
I've got to find a one-of-a-kind ring for a one-of-a-kind person.
Well, I've got a one-of-a-kind diamond store.
Yeah, right. All diamond stores are the same. I've seen them all.
Not like this. Spence is a diamond experience.
Tell me more.
3, 2, and
All
1.
of the cases are open, and you can try on any ring in the store.
I've never seen that.
And in those cases are over 2,500 ring styles to choose from.
Wow.
And if inspired, you can design your own ring, and the Spence Studio will create
Now that's custom.
so custom that your one-of-a-kind person will be the only one to ever wear her one-of-a-kind ring, from the studio to her finger,
A perfect fit.
at a perfect price.
The guy making the ring doesn't ever slip it on.
They're 33%
What happened to the
bigger than a
timestamps?
mined
This thing don't make no noise, so I have no
And
idea
with
when you
Spence's
guys
financing
type
options,
it.
that one-of-a-kind diamond fits your one-of-a-kind
Toggle
budget.
timestamps.
Yes.
That's what she'll say. Inspired by love.
Yeah, you hear some of the crazy shit that's going on about now?
In Scarborough, Vaughan, and Mississauga.
680 News Time, 10:18.
Covenant House has unveiled an anti-sex trafficking campaign called Shoppable Girls. It comes ahead of Ontario's Human Trafficking Awareness
only
Day
girls
and
can
aims to
traffic?
help people learn the warning signs of youth being forced into the billion-dollar industry. Mayor John Tory was on hand for today's launch.
Some of the hotels in the immediate environs of City Hall are places where this routinely takes place. The hotels, unfortunately, are a base of activity where
So is the
mainly
Covenant
young women,
House.
very young women,
So
underage, can go
is
down
the
as low as
Covenant
13,
House.
and I think the average age, according to the material I've read for today, is around 17.
The staff are gonna fucking touch you for free. You might as well go get paid for it,
By
right?
someone they know, Covenant House is also trying to dispel the misconception that sex trafficking doesn't happen in Canada, when in fact 93%
That's not a misconception
of
that
victims
anybody
are
has.
Canadian citizens.
We've
It
been
may be
saying for a
intuitive
long
overseeing
time,
government
people like
spending,
you
but
are
the Ministry
doing
of
it.
Labour found that his
Here in
campaign wasn't
Canada.
always paying his staff. Christina Howard from City News reports on the President of Treasury Board's incomplete campaign finance reports and failure to pay campaign staffers.
In May, the Ministry of Labour had to issue an order to Bethan Falvey's constituency office to pay former campaign staffer Christine Brady back pay and administrative costs of about $500. After several months, the Ministry of Labour had to use a collections agency to get Brady her money. And she finally got her check today.
Peter, his wife, the CFO of the Riding Association, that all tried to just block me from getting what I was owed.
Bethan Falvey says he wasn't aware of the problem until after the campaign.
And I would direct that, I'll ask the Chief Electoral Officer.
Fair to you?
I'm going to let the Chief Electoral Officer look into that.
Christina Howard, City News.
Up in 60
You'll
seconds.
do all
traffic
that
and
for
your
that
extended
person, but you
forecast.
won't adjust the laws for everybody. There's no punishment for not paying your employees. There's literally no punishment for not paying your employees.
With savings of up to 35% on vacation packages to top-rated resorts. Choose to vacation better with our best price guarantee and award-winning service every step of the way. Premium vacations are going fast, so book by February 21st with your travel agent or
Catholic teachers are fighting to preserve one of the best education systems in the world. We want to give every student a chance to succeed. The Ford government is overcrowding classrooms and destroying opportunities for students. We need to stop them before it gets worse. Critical thinking is one of the most important skills we teach. How to separate fact from spin. Don't fall for this government's misinformation. No more. Visit knowmore.ca to
I remember clearly my fourth grade teacher and my third grade teacher telling me about people saying shit like, don't listen to that, that's not true, and then not actually finishing the sentence. I have to go looking for the rest of the information.
Honda right now. The only place we're still seeing delays is on the westbound Gardner. So
I had
it's
good
getting
teachers, but it was
backed up
before the
more and
internet,
more
that's
every
why.
time we look here, it's mainly in the express lanes, but that one section where we've got the express and collectors
Now
there,
all we get
the
is
collectors is
outsiders
pretty
coming
jammed
in
up
to
as well.
fix
So
the broken
it's,
ghetto
westbound
kids.
Gardner just approaching the 427. They've got two
They're
right lanes taken out
co-parenting
for
us.
some construction.
They're telling us
left
what
lanes.
drugs the
So
kids are
that's causing
supposed to be
backup all
on
the
and
way
shit.
right now to Park Lawn. It's been a bit of a steady growth in terms of delays. So getting onto the West QEW is going to be a little bit of a slow go today. But in the meantime, they're not the
Oh,
longest
you won't
stretch
believe
of delays we
this.
could be
This
facing.
blue
So
bandana
there is a positive note in that.
on a
And then
loose
once you're
thread.
on
I
the
found some
QEW
red
heading
dye.
west, the only thing you're going to run into is 2 left lanes closed off at Ford Drive.
Stop
so
what?
that's moving just fine. There's no delays through there, and you're pretty much good all the way until you hit the 403. And then on the westbound QEW, we're seeing some delays as well. And this just seems to be volume related because we're not hearing of any construction or collisions in this area. So just a heads up for that. It's going to be a little bit slow going through that stretch as well. Once you're on the eastbound 401, if that's where you're headed, Bayview and the Express, a right lane closed. And then the north and southbound Morningside ramp to the east 401 closed off as well. Westbound 401's moving just fine. We don't really have much going on there. Southbound on the 400 approaching Tustin, 2 left lanes closed. And then the southbound 427 collector ramp to the Gardner is blocked off for construction. Sicily Honda wants your family to love your car. Drop by 88 Seals Avenue just west of Young. Sicily Honda, they're family driven. Your next report, 1031 with the forecast, Natasha Ramsa. High.
Temperatures tonight down to a seasonal low of -10, dress for morning wind chills of -17, and expect a wall-to-wall sunshine kind of a day tomorrow. Southwest wind up to 40 kilometers per hour. We're getting up to a high of 2 degrees. Saturday morning, we're back into some flurries, a fairly cloudy start to the day. Wait until the afternoon, though, we're back into sun with a high of 5 degrees. Should be dry Saturday night, and then Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud. Chance for flurries to the north in the morning. Most of the 416 will stay dry, though, and this is going to be our mildest day of the weekend. Mildest day in about 6 weeks at 9 degrees. Tonight, we're down to a low of -10 degrees.
And right now in downtown Toronto, -8, feeling like a -14 with the wind chill. We have a clear sky.
680 News Time, 1024.
Are you hiring now or will have a job opening soon? We can help. Check out the Next Steps Employment Centers at next-steps.ca. It's where qualified candidates go to look for their next job. We offer free recruitment services, and you may qualify for financial incentives. And have you heard? Through the Canada-Ontario Job Grant, you could be eligible to receive up to $10,000 per employee in government support to cover training costs. Learn more at next-steps.ca. That's next-steps.ca. Next Steps Employment Centers are funded by Employment Ontario.
The 680 News Insider Club. It pays to belong.
This week, you could win a 4-pack of tickets to the Home Show, the big one. Whether you want your home to match your personality, match your passion, or match nothing at all, the Home Show, the big one has over 800 vendors and experts.
I want my house to
make
just
your
not be
space your
-20.
way. Plus, it's 2 events, 1 ticket. Entrance to Canada Blooms is included.
Visit 680news.com for your chance to win and to sign up for the Insider Club.
This new segment brought to you by your Toronto area Ford dealers. Another scheduled subway closure tonight on Line 1, the Young University line. If you take the subway nightly, you know what I'm about to say. Starting at 11 o'clock, about half an hour from now, service will end between Finch and St. Clair stations as workers do
those
some
trains that
maintenance.
keep
Shuttle
falling
buses
off the
will be
rails.
running instead. Regular service will resume in time for the morning commute, and this is the last time this
2
week.
derailments and a
This
fatal
will happen.
collision
It will
is
not
enough
go
for
into
me.
effect Friday night.
They don't have a
Residents of
proper
street near
policy
Abbey Mall in
for
Rexdale have been allowed
internal
back into their
combustion
homes
engines.
after toxic gas levels were detected in the neighborhood. Fire officials were called this afternoon about the smell of a gas on Bulburn Road near Albion and Finch. 8 homes had to be evacuated for several hours as crews flushed a solvent out of the sewer system.
What solvent?
In
What are you
60
talking
seconds,
about?
Richard Southern's got everything you need at the 680 Business Center.
680 News Time, 1025.
Introducing
You're supposed to accept that solvent's been dumped in the sewer before people do.
With available head-up display technology. Keep the head up! And best-in-class second row legroom.
But long legs!
People are really excited about the 2024.
Fuck, I should have counted. How many times did they tell us about that collision?
For 40 months at 3.49.
The Maserati and the black SUV.
That's only $187 every 2 weeks. Only $187. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca. Really?
You still want
Tony Orlando, live in concert. March 23rd and 24th on stage at Niagara Falls View Casino.
3 times on the ceiling.
Millions of records sold and millions of fans.
Never heard of you, homeboy?
Visit FallsViewCasinoResort.com for tickets.
Oh, that's surprising if you're going to casinos.
23rd and 24th at Niagara Falls View Casino.
The more, the worse you are at the casino.
That means it's time for the business report. Let's hit up the Business Center. And Richard Southern, brought to you by IASecurities.ca.
Good evening. The beer store says it had a $13.1 million shortfall last year, something it's blaming on the Ford government. In a statement to me, the beer store says it's, quote, a direct result of the opening of beer sales in 450 grocery stores and of the continued uncertainty surrounding the beer store's current 10-year operating agreement with the province. The Ford government did expand the number of grocery stores allowed to sell beer to 450 this year. Of course, it's looking to rip up that 10-year agreement with the beer store.
The beer store
wants to sell beer in corner stores. Doing that, ripping up that deal, though, could cost taxpayers big money. The beer store says they are continuing to negotiate.
Store people
with
can't count 10 dimes as a dollar. They
accounted for 90% of all
10
beer
dimes
sales
there.
here in Ontario.
10, 20, 30, 40, one at a time to make sure it's a dollar.
Well, it might be not beer, but
10 dimes might add up to something else sometimes.
Breaking day for the TSX. Canada's main stock index up 18 points to 17,944. Traders buying the financials today.
No.
The gold miners, Agnico Eagle.
You don't even fucking speak the language I'm speaking. Why would you assume that?
US dollars the ounce. Northview apartment REITs jumping 12.8% after getting a $4.8 billion takeover offer. Wall Street was lower. The Dow fell 128 to 29,219. S&P was down 12 or 1/3%. And the Nasdaq down 66.
I'm trying to have patience with these.
Stand up to the upside. Domino's Pizza surging 24% on well-received fourth quarter earnings. Virgin Galactic, the space tourism stock, has been going crazy lately. Closed a little bit.
An hour ago, they just said Domino's
at $37.26. The stock go up some 350%.
Losing money to Uber Eats.
Becoming speculative favorite of Wall Street traders. Canadian dollar 75.42 cents US. Top stories next on 680 News.
Your doctors and family agree that you can't work, and still your long-term disability insurer denies your claim. I know that the stress of the denied claim is making you worse.
This is as
so
much as they're going to tell us.
My name is Aaron Waxman, and if you're insured...
No, soy no suicidar. Jeez, I got Cantonese and Russian on my fucking mind, and French. Soy Suicide Jones. Soy no suicidar. Soy vas a suicidar. No. You fucking... I have suicide disease. Pain in my face. Pain in my face. Suicide disease. I don't even know if this person's still fucking... Quinceanero. Fuck, my Spanish is gone. Fuck, there's a minute to go, right? They're gonna run through traffic and all sorts of other stupid shit. Watch. Should you move to Toronto? It really depends. It really fucking depends on where you're coming from. There's way worse places in the world. I think it's the best place in the world, but I'm from here. You have to remember that. I'm from here. I'll always find a way to get by here. There's so many things wrong. You don't see me crying about these things fucking, I don't know what to do. I just point out, this is bullshit, this is bullshit, this is bullshit. Look at the brainwashing they put on the fucking mainstream media every fucking day. I couldn't make up the shit that they say, man. Oh, you can't threaten to burn down a house and then only threaten to burn down the garage. Okay, that's the education minister. Now, 30 seconds earlier, the Bill Blair. Oh, well, we moved a little bit, so this is when the barricade should come down. You moved a little bit, so what? Get the fuck off the land. You didn't get off the land. You literally walked 20 minutes. So now all 1,000 or whatever of your homeboys can walk back in 20 minutes. Fuck that. Get the fuck off the land. Yo, I want to hear traffic again. They're not going to tell us shit. Watch. They tell us over and over, quarantine, quarantine, quarantine. Oh, we're pulling people out of quarantine. That's not a quarantine. Oh, the music stuff. Fuck. Couldn't make this shit up, man. Union of Socialist Canadian Provinces, and the capital is Toronto. It's not Ottawa. The capital's Toronto. Don't let them fool you. They think because they sell bricks of coke out of Parliament Hill. Yes, they do. They think because they do that, they can match Toronto. You don't run nothing, brethren. Ottawa, that economic powerhouse known around the world as Ottawa. Nobody's fucking heard of you, buddy. What do they say? Toronto, Canada. They don't even say Toronto, Ontario. They say Toronto, Canada. Fucking capital of Canada now, I guess. I don't know. If they do know the provinces, they know Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, BC, and Ontario. That's it. They don't know fucking any other provinces. Newfoundland only recently became a province. This town that they're trying to occupy was incorporated in 1957. It's called Houston. I think that's funny because the last crew of fucking white trash redneck. You're a redneck because of indentured servitude. You're the white version of a Negro slave. You're a redneck. That's what they call you because your neck got burnt from being in the fields all day. Indentured servitude. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. So fucking Selwyn, SWN, they came up here and tried to act all hard. They're gonna push us around and they're gonna get these holes drilled and blow up our land. No, you're not. You're not gonna blow up our aquifers. You're not putting explosives in the ground on the East Coast. It's not happening. This here where I am is the fucking, it's a basin. It's the center of Canada basically where all the fucking sewage would drain out. And it's basically bedrock. And you go down 100 feet and there's fucking sand, fucking quicksand running underneath the ground. This country is not built on solid land. There's no reason to believe it was. The whole country was covered in ice and compressed everything. Ice melted. Everything's lifting up. It's air bubbles. It's all fucking air bubbles in this fucking land. Even in, I think Chicago and New York, both, they've explored caves and shit underneath there. And it's all hollow. You can't just blow up fucking explosives in the ground under here. All right, let's fucking give them a shot.
Thousands of teachers are set to protest at Queen's Park tomorrow. 680's Phil Martino joins us live to bring us up to date. Phil.
Scott, the job action by the four major teachers' unions is expected to shut down schools across the province. Harvey Bischoff, president of the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation, tells me it will be the first time in history all four education unions will be taking legal strike action together.
And we're trying to get the government to finally take heed of the fact that overwhelmingly parents oppose the cuts that they're trying to impose on the publicly funded education system, and they support the proposals that we have on the table that actually enhance the quality of education in Ontario.
In Toronto, the only picket line will be at Queen's Park. Organizers
teachers,
as many as
parents want more teachers.
Yes, and supporters at the
parents support the things that we are saying, and the things that we are saying are improvements to the system. We can't just say it.
The union leaders ought to be on negotiating a deal that keeps students in class. Our government will remain squarely focused on providing stability to students who face escalation by teacher unions far too often throughout their educational journey. Phil Martino, City News. City News Time 10:35. A sixth presumptive case of the new coronavirus has been diagnosed in British Columbia after a woman in her 30s returned to the province from Iran, bringing the total number of cases in Canada to 9. The worldwide death toll from COVID-19 is now nearly 2,500. Out of over 76,000 cases. 680's Ria Renouf has more from Vancouver.
76,000.
Henry, the province's chief health officer, says the woman in her 30s returned this week with a relatively mild form of the virus.
There has been a number of contacts, including
a relatively mild form. That's their way of not admitting that it's mutating.
At all of her movements over the last few days since she's been home. Most of the people who have been tested here in BC for coronavirus have turned up positive for influenza.
The woman lives in the Fraser Health region and is the first person in BC to test positive after visiting a country other than China. Henry admits she is surprised about being linked to Iran. It's now up to the National Microbiology Lab to completely confirm this woman has the virus.
They're surprised. If you're a fucking virologist, you should not be surprised.
Very relieved Canadians are in the sky right now, no doubt anxious to come home after being quarantined aboard cruise ship off the coast of Japan. 680's Momo Cressy with the details.
For over 2 weeks, more than 200 Canadians were held in quarantine on board the Diamond Princess cruise ship. But now the flight chartered by the federal government to bring them home is on its way back to Canada. It's expected to touch down at CFB Trenton early tomorrow morning. Passengers on board will be examined again and then sent up to Cornwall, where they will once again be placed in quarantine for up to 14 days. Federal Health Minister Patty Hajdu says so far none of the people who returned aboard charter flights from China have shown signs of COVID-19.
Are all the pilots and everybody going to be quarantined? No.
Second, people repatriated as well as the people that were on the American flight. Everybody is healthy.
Here in Ontario, the man who was the first confirmed case of COVID-19 is now clear of the virus. I'm Momo Cressy.
Ontario Plates 2.0.
Which isn't physically
the Ford government
possible.
says the
You never get
manufacturer
a virus
of the
entirely out of
controversial
your
license
system.
plate says they will have enhanced models on the way in about 3 weeks. 680's Richard Southern has more.
Many, including police officers, said the new blue license plates that have been issued since January 1st cannot be viewed at night. It was only yesterday the Ford government admitted there was an issue with them. Today, the Ford government says it will issue new enhanced Ontario license plates within 3 weeks. They're being developed by 3M. It says those who have already received a new plate will get this new and improved version in the mail. It's not clear how much this is costing taxpayers, though the government says there have been 218,000 of the now defective plates produced. Richard Southern, 680 News.
680 News Time, 10:38. A Canadian man has died in Cuba after he, along with dozens of Canadians, became stranded on the island of Cayo Largo. Melissa McCauley of City News has more on a vacation that turned into a nightmare.
They still
It was
haven't
a
told
long
me how
journey home
that
from
led to his
Cuba that
death.
travelers to Cayo Largo describe as horrific. The passengers who traveled with Air Transat say their flight home to Canada was delayed due to damaged runway at the island airport. The ordeal was complete with elderly passengers in medical distress to a cockroach-infested 6-hour ferry ride on choppy waters. The 4-day delay also resulted in an elderly person falling ill. Global Affairs Canada confirming that individual has now died. In an email to City News, Air Transit says 160 passengers have so far returned home after boarding the ferry off the island and flying home
Maybe
from
you should
Havana
stop
Airport.
killing spiders and birds and
186
mice.
passengers will return to Montreal on Friday and 58 to Toronto this weekend. For City News, I'm Melissa McCauley.
In 30 seconds, we'll take a look at rising gas
If
prices.
there were rats on that ferry, there wouldn't be any cockroaches.
Thanks for calling Reliance Home Comfort. It's Jeff. How can I help you?
Hi, should I be concerned that my furnace is making strange noises?
Well, if it's rattling, grinding, or squeaking, I'd definitely recommend an inspection. It could be a simple adjustment, but if it can't be fixed, right now, you can get 30% off our featured furnace during our end-of-season furnace clearance sale.
I don't know why I
We're
bothered
also
asking
including a
anybody
free
for help.
Google
I have
Nest
resident
thermostat
sticks
and
right
Nest
here.
Hub. When you need a great deal fast. Conditions apply. See website for details.
Now, the 680 News gas price update, and Pro predicts the price will rise
Told
2
drogas
cents at
mucho? Are
midnight
you fucking
to
retarded?
$15.9 cents a liter.
Told
Most
drogas
GTA
mucho.
stations up next in a minute's time.
Mucho
Carmen Donahue
drogas.
with the traffic report.
680 News Time, 10:40.
You see the pills and powders everywhere, you fucking
I
idiot?
offered her one and she said no. She's not feeling well.
She's fine. She's just pacing herself.
Ah, she can't keep up with you.
Man, look at the size of her.
All I know
Got
about drugs
60
that come
pounds
from
on
your
her.
fucking
Of course
countries.
she can't.
Studies show that when a man and woman drink the same amount of
If you don't fucking speak English, why are you trying to have a fucking conversation with me? No entendo, bro. Soy de, bro, thank you. Soy de Argentina. Yeah, okay. You got fucking shitloads of fucking drugs in Argentina. You know what? I don't have drugs. This motherfucker sees me smoking a joint and talks to me about drugs. You're not even asking about the painkillers I get from the doctors either. You see a joint, it's drugs. Motherfucker, this is Mohawk land. This shit grows out of the ground. The shit you grow in your jungles is fucking garbage. That's why they can't ship it nowhere. Argentina. Go fuck yourself. You don't understand me, but all you can say is judgments. Stop. You're committing suicide. Do you do drugs much? I don't understand you. I'm from Argentina. You're a fucking retard. How did you figure out how to type, bro? And why you got Cyrillic in your name, man? The Russian from Argentina, right? Or are you Ukrainian? Let me guess. There's no black people in Argentina, right? None. No neros, right? You're all Caucasian. I know, because you cocksuckers come up here to volunteer at the churches, and you give me the dirtiest looks. You spit at me. You fucking spit in my face. You try to make me do tricks to get my food. The fuck? And I'm supposed to pretend that you think I'm white. No, I know you know I'm not white. You motherfuckers study us. I know what you're up to. This is what I'm talking about white supremacism. You're not fucking white. You're indigenous and Spanish, and neither one of those was white. There were black Spaniards. Oh, yes, there were. You ever hear of the Moors? Fucking idiots. Why the fuck are you even trying to have these conversations? 4 fucking sentences in a row, 4 messages in a row of just talking shit, eh? But you're pretending you don't understand what I'm saying, eh? I'm listening to an English radio station. They've said Toronto over and fucking over. I'm in Toronto. It says I'm in Toronto all over this YouTube thing. I'm obviously listening to the fucking news in my fucking city giving my commentary. Stay in fucking Argentina, bro. Don't fucking come up here. Don't fucking come up here. People like you make problems for the rest of your people. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. Drugs. Marijuana. Marijuana. Canzanero. Marijuana. Don't fuck around. Zapatista. You know what that is? No, those people fight for themselves. You suck white dick. There ain't even no white people in your country, but you worship this whiteness. Oh, fuck? How the fuck the CIA run through your fucking whole fucking continent, bro? They all white. Every last one of them motherfuckers is the whitest you could get. Because they don't trust nobody that ain't white. Where you get these fucking Aryan dudes speaking whatever fucking language of the world. It's okay. Keep talking. Keep talking shit. This is drugs. Coffee. Coffee. This is drugs. To us, this is drugs. Comes from your country, right? How's your rainforest doing? You still cutting that shit down to grow palm oil? We don't buy anything with palm oil. I mean, we do because there's certain products that every fucking version has it in there. But we've been contacting the companies and telling them straight goods. Whoever comes out with the shit without the palm oil first, that's what we're going to buy. I'm Dutch, and there's Dutch products I won't buy because they got palm oil in them. No entiendo. Your fucking Apple Translate not working? How's the child sex tourism going on down there? Hey, we cleaned it up here. What are you doing? Average age is 17 now. Didn't used to be 17. Don't think for a second I believe this person really fucking speaks Spanish and is from Argentina. I don't believe that. Oh yeah, I was doing something with the phone, wasn't I? I just proved my point. I got higher off that resin than I did off the fucking joint that somebody gave me as a favor. Why when you fucking assholes do that, eh? These fucking people will hand me, after the joint's gone around, they roll the joint in a cone shape, which means there's nothing in the end. And they fucking clog it up with all the resin. Then they pass it to me. And it's like, there's nothing here, and it's soaking wet with spit. And fucking, I owe them a favor. Remember, I smoked you a joint? No, you didn't. You handed me your fucking roach. Favors and favors and favors. So I got like 8 fucking articles here to go through. And I haven't looked at the fucking, I haven't looked up new shit yet, so.
TELUS mobile health clinics give people living on the streets the medical care they need with the dignity they deserve.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Let's get you checked out.
And TELUS Mobility for Good
Let's get you
helps
checked
youth living
out.
foster care connect
You can't
to the
even find a
resources
voice actor to do it with any sympathy or
free phone
compassion.
and plan. Hello? Across Canada, TELUS is helping those who need it most because we're all connected for good. Learn more
We
at
had to sell drugs to get cell
TELUS.com/all
phones when we got
connected
out
for
of
good.
care.
In 48, U.S. President Donald Trump is not pleased with this year's Oscar winner for Best Picture. At a rally in Colorado Springs tonight, he slammed the award show and took aim at Parasite, the film that stole the show.
And the winner is a movie from South Korea. What the hell was that all about? We got enough problems with South Korea with trade. On top of it, they give them the best movie of the year. Was it good? I don't know.
Parasite became the first ever foreign film to win Best Picture at the Oscars this year. The film won 6 Oscars in total, including Best Director and Best Original Screenplay. Human trafficking in Toronto is not only happening more often than most people know, it's happening in places most people would never consider mainstream hotels. Mayor John Tory is lending
Where the
his
fuck did you
support to an
think
awareness
prostitution
campaign by
happened?
Covenant House. Tory says he's been told by police that multiple hotels, some not far from City Hall, are known to be used for prostituting young girls who have been manipulated into the sex trade against their will. As for how many Toronto and GTA hotels are being used in this way, Julie Neubauer from Covenant House does not have an exact number, but
I wouldn't hazard to say that all of them. Why not? That people need places to conduct this business, whether it's a motel, whether it's an Airbnb, or whether it's a large chain, that sex trafficking is happening in these spaces.
the campaign also includes a special website, shoppablegirls.com. Coming up, traffic and weather together on the ones, and we have details on an upcoming shutdown on line 1, the Young University subway line. 680 News Time, 10:50.
I've got to find a one-of-a-kind.
They haven't mentioned that human brain
Well,
yet.
I've got a one-of-a-kind diamond store.
They don't want to fucking raise awareness of this. It's most likely it's going to say something like Negro or American Indian.
Tell me more.
If there are any
All of the
records on
cases
it.
are open, and you can try
Our
on
body
any
parts are
ring
worth
in the
money, and
store.
it's acceptable to trade in them.
And in those cases are over
If I
2,500
touch you, I get charged with an assault.
And
I get
if
charged with
inspired, you can design your own ring, and the Spence Studio will create
indignity
it.
to a body or
So
whatever.
custom that your one-of-a-kind person will be the only one to ever wear her one-of-a-kind ring, from the studio to her finger.
A perfect fit.
At a perfect price. You can choose artisan-created diamonds that are 33% bigger than a mined diamond of equal price. And with Spence's financing options, that one-of-a-kind diamond fits your one-of-a-kind budget.
Yes.
That's what she'll say. Inspired by love, imagined by you, created by Spence.
I'm not meeting with this racist bitch. Indigenous and Northern Affairs. No, it's Dynet. It's not indigenous. We're Indians. We're not indigenous. We're
What we've got
Indians.
going on right now, we have some
Carolyn
delays
Bennett.
pretty much scattered across the city.
Oh, you went to the AFN Special Chiefs Assembly? They don't represent shit.
Gardner, so we'll start there. If you're coming
They
westbound
represent the
on
Indians you said are
Gardner Expressway,
Indians, and now you're telling them they're indigenous, and they're
nasty
sucking your dick because you
they
have
start
one, bitch.
Just approaching Park Lawn
Pretending
and
that, yes,
extend
we're
all the way up to
indigenous.
the
No, we're not.
427. Now, this is due to the fact that
Indigenous is a
there's
made-up
two
fucking wrong word.
Closed off at Kipling for some construction, so people are having to deal with that. Just slow down. It's in the Express, actually. So Collectors is moving okay, but once the Collectors and Express end and it merges just into the one lane, it's really slow going through that stretch. So just a heads up, you might want to take the Lakeshore instead right now because Gardner is going really slow. And then I'd like to tell you that it gets better once you get on the West QEW, but once you hit Ford Drive, just around the 403, you're going to be stuck in another stretch of delays, and that's due to 2 left lanes being closed off at Ford Drive.
So 4 a.m. this morning they posted this. Federal minister pledges to meet chiefs in BC over natural gas pipeline. They phrased it that way for a reason. She's going to meet them when they're not going to be there. The federal... It says capital letters here, Crown-Indigenous. You're capitalizing it now as if it's a legal term. It's not a legal term. Indian is a legal term. I have Indian status. There is no such thing as Indigenous status. The federal Crown-Indigenous Relations Minister, that's not a thing. Indigenous and Northern Affairs Minister, if nothing else, is offering to meet Thursday, that's today, with Wet'suwet'en hereditary chiefs in northwestern British Columbia. But while Carolyn Bennett and her BC counterpart Scott Fraser, there's no provincial counterpart to DINAC. Scott Fraser say they'll be in the town of Smithers to talk about reducing tensions over the construction of a pipeline in Wet'suwet'en traditional territory. The chiefs are supposed to be in Ontario. Hello. The Wet'suwet'en hereditary chiefs say they are visiting Mohawk territory, where community members have blocked a key east-west rail link between Toronto and Montreal in support of the chiefs' cause. So you're going to be in BC when they're not going to be there. The hereditary chiefs opposed the Coastal GasLink project that would bring natural gas to a liquefaction facility and export terminal on the BC coast. It would, if that existed yet. You don't build the pipeline first. You build the facility first. The facility don't exist yet. Why are they insisting on building a pipe first when the facility doesn't exist yet? Nationwide protests and blockades followed a move by RCMP to enforce a court injunction earlier this month against the hereditary chiefs and their supporters who had been obstructing an access road to the company's work site. Well, I'm not a hereditary chief or a supporter. I'm an independent Indigenous gangster. You want to call me Indigenous? It's an Indigenous gang. That's the only place you can use that word with me. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, fucking homo, drama teacher, go suck fucking Drake's dick, you bitch. Child actor. Is under increasing pressure to end the blockades, with conservatives calling for the government to use force. Oh, we can use force. Well, the Liberal government insists negotiations are the only way to a lasting solution. It's the one time he's right. You don't want to use force on me, on my boys, because we'll use force right back. Andrew Scheer. Sheared off like a shear. You know what shear force is? Shear force is what removes a head from a body, homeboy. I know everybody talks mad shit. You know how many politicians I see rolling through here in their convoys of limos? You know how many diplomats from other countries I see coming in here to pick up dope? I see all y'all sooner or later. You're gonna fuck with me? No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to shut your fucking mouth. Que escuchas? Traduce algo con el traductor, amigo. You're having a conversation with your fucking self, eh?
Simply apply in just 3 minutes anytime at savers.ca. That's S-A-V like Victor, E-R-S.ca.
That's a dude. That's a fucking dude.
16493-1983 or apply anytime at savers.ca.
Introducing Montfair by Cremont, a new mid-rise condominium residence coming soon to Brampton. Ideally located between Verdant Parkland and a spectacular new urban park. Only minutes to the GO station in charming Mount Pleasant Village. Enjoy a convenient, connected lifestyle in a unique community. 1 and 2 bedroom suites starting from the mid-300s. Register at Fremont.com.
Now the business report.
Good evening. You may have caught the story yesterday here on 680 News. It was an odd one. U.S. Customs stopped a Canada Post truck as it was trying to cross the border inside
90 minutes.
a human brain in a mason jar. No documentation or
Why is it in the business report?
Certainly sounds bizarre, but would you believe there is a big market for human body parts, in particularly high demand or organs for transplant? Hearts could fetch 119,000 on the black
not
market.
what we're talking about.
Livers, 157K. Kidneys, 260 grand.
And an Indian skull's worth what? $10,000?
When they're in our skull, but not so much outside. There's no black market really for human brains, though samples for medical research do have some value. About $600 apparently. On the market,
there's no black market, but they're worth $600.
TSX was up 18 points, a modest gain, but good enough for another record. As we finished at 17,944. TSX getting close to the 18,000 point mark. Gainers today included Northview Apartment. This is a real estate investment trust. It was up 12.8% on a takeover offer. Financial strong gainers today. CN Rail was up $1. On Wall Street, the Dow fell 128 points to 29,219. S&P was down 12, 1/3%. And the NASDAQ Composite down 66. Tech stocks were hard hit today on news of more coronavirus cases in South Korea. Very much a tech hotbed there, of course. Morgan Stanley stock was down 4.5%. Morgan Stanley announcing plans to buy E-Trade Financial, that online discount brokerage. They're all the rage there with their commission-free trades. It's a big $13 billion deal. E-Trade stock up 21%. Price for gold up again. It's at $1,623, and the Canadian dollar 75.41 cents US. This is 680 News.
When it comes to performing your best, you watch what you eat. You stay as active as possible, and you know the importance of a good night's sleep. But what about the chair you sit in all day? If you sit while you work, your office chair has a significant effect on your health and productivity. Ergocentric office chairs are recommended by 94% of ergonomists for a reason. To learn more, visit ergocentric.com. Or better yet, get up and visit our showroom and store at the King Edward Hotel.
People are really talking about Mazda's iActive all-wheel drive, especially Mazda owners. Kathy from Kitchener says,
I always feel safe while driving this vehicle, especially in winter.
Troy from Halifax adds, it's amazing in winter conditions. Right now, you can receive up to a $1,000 iActive all-wheel drive credit on select new models. Plus, Mazda's unlimited mileage warranty. Visit your local Mazda dealer or Mazda.ca today.
Weather forecast you can bank on, because if we're off by more than 3 degrees,
you can win our growing cash jackpot. The 680 News Weather Guarantee. Enter online at 680news.com.
Now 680 News regional weather conditions for iasecurities.ca. At IA Securities, advisors don't just build the wealth of their clients. They invest in a relationship of trust. Visit iasecurities.ca.
The Health Minister and the Indigenous Affairs Minister both look like dudes.
Barrie -13, a few clouds, and Mississauga -10 and clear. This is CFTR 680 News Time, 11 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are Scott Burnett and Christine Ritchie.
Good evening. This is Thursday, February 20th.
Here's what's making news this hour. No deal for Catholic teachers. They'll join the 3 other major teachers' unions in a province-wide strike tomorrow that is expected to shut down schools across Ontario, leaving about 2 million students out of class. The number of cases of COVID-19
You'll notice they have not yet given one public service announcement telling them to stay off the tracks. What are the kids here? The trains are stopped. The trains are stopped. The trains are stopped. The trains are stopped. They've not given one fucking PSA about that.
GTA Police Service admits to using a controversial database.
They tell us every fucking time it rains to stay away from rivers. There's no fucking rivers here.
And the internet.
The Leafs pick up a much-needed win over the Pittsburgh Penguins. While all eyes are on the scoreboard as the Panthers are in LA to take on the Kings. Sports at 15.
TSX gains 18 points. It's another record for the Toronto Stock Exchange. Wall Street lower, though traders bake up a big win for Domino's Pizza shares. Business at 20 cents.
News time, 11:01. Traffic and weather together on the ones at the traffic center. Carly Donahue.
This report's brought to you by the Area Rug Shop. Right now, we're seeing some delays kind of scattered across the GTA, the worst of it being on the westbound Gardner. So west of Kipling in the Express, we've got 2 left lanes that have been closed down for some construction. That's causing some pretty heavy backup, although it is getting a lot better. The delays are just backed up now in the Express to approaching Islington to the 427. And I would like to be able to tell you that once you get on the QEW, it's going to be a little bit better. But once you hit Ford Drive, we've got 2 more left lanes closed off there. So we're seeing delays approaching the 403 to Royal Windsor on the west QEW there. So once you're in the Oakville area, though, and you pass the Royal Windsor there, Trafalgar, everything past there is good to go. We're not seeing any delays there at all anymore. So that's good news. Otherwise, we're seeing some delays on the westbound 401. So we don't really have any construction going on in this area, but pretty much between Kiel or approaching Kiel and the 400, we're seeing a stretch of delays going on, and that is in the Express. We're not entirely sure what's going on there because our cameras can't quite pinpoint it. So if you're driving through the area and can give us a hands-free call at star 680, let us know what you see. But in the meantime, it does seem like it's just volume related. Other than that, everything's
remember they said they're going to put cameras all over the 427 to prevent drive-bys?
Weston Road in the
These cameras can't read the current license plates, let alone the new ones. How the fuck is that going to prevent drive-bys?
And then we're seeing the
drive-bys now on these fucking cameras. You don't hear about them, do you?
Find the rug you'll fall in love with at Area Rug Shop, with showrooms in Vaughan, Richmond Hill, Newmarket, and Barrie all February long. Buy one rug, get the second at 50% off. Visit arearugshop.ca. Your next report 11:11 with the forecast. Natasha Ramza. High.
Clear skies tonight. Temperatures down to -10. Wind chill that you need to dress for in the morning around -17. So that's about seasonal for this time of year. It's a sunny Friday. Southwest wind up to 40 kilometers per hour. And tomorrow's high above the freezing mark at 2 degrees. Tonight we're down to a low of -10.
And right now in downtown Toronto, we're sitting at -8, feeling like -14 with that wind chill. We have a clear sky. 680 News Time, 11:03.
Today's talks between Ontario's Catholic school teachers and the Ford government end yet again without an agreement. This as Ontario's public school teachers are set to march on Queen's Park tomorrow to coincide with their scheduled province-wide strike.
As 680's Phil Martino tells us, organizers expect as many as 30,000 teachers and supporters.
The job action by the 4 major teachers' unions is expected to shut down schools across Ontario. That means about 2 million students will not be in class. Harvey Bischoff, president of the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation, says it will be the first time in history all 4 education unions will be taking legal strike action together. So what's it going to take to bring this to an end?
It's going to take the government finally listening to the very parents that they consulted themselves, who overwhelmingly told them they didn't want bigger class sizes. They want their children to have access to the supports that education workers bring.
In response to the strike action by the 4 teachers' unions, Minister of Education Stephen Lecce says, while union leaders are continuing to organize further disruption, our government remains focused on getting deals that ensure students are learning each and every day. I'm Phil Martino.
And all their medical advice they give.
680 News Time, 11:04. A 6th case of coronavirus has been presumptively diagnosed in British Columbia.
Go fucking look at coronavirus in Argentina, bro. Why are you still talking to me? I made it pretty clear I don't like you.
76,000 confirmed cases, mostly in mainland China. 680's Ria Renuff.
No Spanish in the fucking thing here,
Officer
right?
Dr. Bonnie Henry says the woman was recently in Iran. She returned to BC last month and is now in isolation in her home.
This one clearly is a bit unusual in that the travel to Iran is something new, and we are working and will be working with our national and international colleagues to better understand where she may have been exposed to this virus prior to
all the airplanes.
Henry says this latest patient has a relatively mild form of the virus. The National Microbiology Lab still must confirm test results from the BC Centre for Disease Control. I'm Ria Renuff.
And happening now, Canadians who are stuck on that cruise ship in Japan under quarantine due to COVID-19 concerns are now on their way home. 680's Mama Qureshi has more.
For more than 2 weeks, over 200 Canadians were stuck on board the Diamond Princess cruise ship in quarantine. But now Foreign Affairs Minister Francois Philippe Champagne says the charter flight sent to bring them home is on its way back to Canada, expected to touch down at CFB Trenton early tomorrow morning.
In Trenton, passengers will be assessed and transported to the NAV Canada Training Institute in Cornwall to undergo a further 14-day quarantine.
The Director General of the World Health Organization says the situation is improving.
The data from China continue to show a decline in new confirmed cases. We are encouraged by this trend, but this is no time for complacency.
Health officials here in Ontario say the first person to test positive for COVID-19 is now fully clear of the virus. I'm Oman Qureshi.
Happening right now, a portion of Line 1, the Yonge University subway line,
That's
is
not breaking
closed
news.
for the night. There's no service between Finch and St. Clair stations for scheduled maintenance. Shuttle buses are running and regular service will resume for the morning rush. This is the last closure this week of this Line 1 early closure. The line will close early from St. Clair West to Union Station tomorrow night.
The Ford government now says a new enhanced license plate is on the way following complaints the current ones cannot be read at night. 680's Richard Souther joins us with the latest.
Well, 218,000 of the new blue license plates have been produced, but they're probably going to have to be thrown away. The Ford government says a new so-called enhanced Ontario license plate is being developed with 3M. The government says they'll be available in less than 3 weeks. Drivers who already have a blue plate will get the new version in the mail. Of course, these plates fell under heavy criticism from police officers, from Mad Canada and others because they were very difficult, if not impossible, to see at night. It wasn't until yesterday that the Ford government admitted there was an issue with the plates. Richard Southern, 680 News.
The former owner of the College Street Bar has been granted bail pending his appeal of a conviction for gang sexual assault. A court of appeal justice says Gavin McMillan has strong grounds to challenge his conviction and 9-year sentence. The issue in the appeal is a recent federal legislation related to jury selection that has thrown dozens of cases into doubt. McMillan and his bar manager were convicted in November of sexually assaulting and administering a noxious substance to their 24-year-old victim.
Because
An
they
80-year-old
videotaped the
woman
whole
has died
thing.
after a serious crash this afternoon in Vaughan between a Maserati and an SUV.
Oh, that
680
was in
Stuart
Vaughan.
McGinn joins us from the scene
Right.
near Rutherford and the 400.
An 80-year-old woman was among 4 people taken to hospital after this collision here at Rutherford in Weston, but police have confirmed she
not
since
far from
tragically
Weston.
died of her injuries. This crash happened right outside the entrance to a plaza, with the scene spanning adjacent intersections on either side of Rutherford Road. The brunt force has left the front end of a blue Maserati completely crushed, while a black SUV appears to have rolled over after being hit. Before things got cleaned up, several people came by to see the incredible damage left behind.
I just got here and I just saw all this debris here and everything. All this,
What the fuck are you even talking
Now,
to
a third
this guy
vehicle
for?
was
You didn't
involved in
see it
this
happen.
collision later on, but no serious injuries were reported there. Police are now hoping witnesses can come forward to help them understand what exactly led to this fatal crash. In Vaughan at Rutherford and Weston, I'm Stuart McGinn.
Another GTA police service confirming the use of a controversial facial recognition technology. The Toronto Star reporting Durham Regional Police are the 4th police force in the GTA to use Clearview AI, joining Toronto, Halton, and Peel. The technology allowing investigators to search a database containing billions of images scraped from the internet, including social media. Privacy commissioners in Ontario and BC have raised privacy concerns about the tool. All have now said they have stopped using the app. Coming up in 30
It
seconds.
don't work. I know it don't work.
Rising gas prices.
680 News Time, 11:09.
This is 680 News.
Christopher Columbus did not believe the Earth is flat. That's a misconception. Another misconception is that Lazy Boy
I've
is
never
all
heard of that
recliners.
misconception.
Yes, Lazy Boy has the most comfortable recliners, but also sofas, sectionals, love seats, fashionable Lazy Boy furniture, and accessories for your living room, bedroom, and
Supreme Court of Canada to hear federal appeal in Via Rail terror case. Fuck these guys. How the fuck did they get an appeal? The Supreme Court of Canada will review this fucking country, man. Oh, you'll have some weed plants on your property. We're gonna kill you, but just remember, everything they've ever done to me to try to hurt me and kill me has either been because they know what I am or because I smoke weed. Wow. Which my people have been doing for thousands of years, so I don't see how it's your business. The Supreme Court of Canada will review a lower court decision to grant a new trial to 2 men accused of plotting the crash of Via Rail train. 2 fucking idiots. I can't pronounce these names, and you got fucked up characters that are not Roman characters in here. were found guilty in 2015 of terror-related charges arising mainly from an alleged Al-Qaeda-inspired plot. It's not alleged. They were convicted to derail a passenger train traveling between the United States and Canada. Both men appealed their convictions. Counsel for one idiot and a court-appointed lawyer for the other idiot argued the jury at the trial was improperly constituted. So go fucking back to some other country where you can pick the jury, you morons. In August, if they let you out, you're getting fucking hurt, bro. These fucking two idiots are getting fucking hurt, bro. They keep them on some serious supermax lockdown. This ain't like a normal fucking jail beef. In August last year, the Ontario Court of Appeal ordered a fresh trial for the men on grounds the jury was indeed chosen incorrectly. Following the decision, the Public Prosecution Service of Canada said it would proceed with a new trial. However, federal lawyers also exercised a right to seek the Supreme Court's permission to challenge the appeal court decision. As usual, the High Court gave no reason Thursday for agreeing to hear the case. In a submission to the Supreme Court seeking a hearing, federal lawyers noted these two idiots were convicted of the most serious terrorism offenses in Canadian law after nearly 9 months of pretrial motions and a 3-month jury trial. Quote, overturning these convictions on the basis of a technical error that had no appreciable effect on the conduct of the trial is a triumph of form over substance, the submission said. Where, as here, there is no actual demonstrable prejudice to the fairness of the trial, the verdict properly reached by the trier of fact after a long and arduous trial should not so easily be set aside. Both Idiot 1 and Idiot 2 said the High Court should dismiss the federal application for a hearing. The Crown has failed to identify any error of law in the decision of the Court of Appeal, much less one that raises an issue of national importance, said Idiot 1's submission. He took issue with the suggestion the serious nature of the alleged offenses should prompt the Supreme Court to grant leave to appeal. Oh, because what we did was so serious, we should get an appeal. That's what this fucking idiot with the rape charge just fucking... You're a moron. You were safer in jail, buddy. I'm sure that girl's got some friends. I'm sure somebody's going to recognize your fucking face off the nose and just dummy you. Ain't nobody going to call the cops on that. I crack your skull off the sidewalk and say, yeah, I saw him on the nose. I felt like going to jail with him. You think they're going to fucking convict me? They're going to put me in the same jail with you if they do. The Crown has not advanced any argument as to why only serious cases involving overturned convictions, as opposed to convictions that are upheld on appeal, are sufficient to satisfy its new proposed test for leave, Idiot 1's brief said. And since it's a quote, I got to assume that the lawyer forgot to put in the fucking apostrophe, because it's a fucking quote, which means they copied and pasted it. Quote, profoundly serious cases are, sadly, not an uncommon occurrence in the Canadian criminal justice system. In his submission to the court, Idiot 2 also rejected... Whoever the fuck this guy is. This doesn't make sense. Idiot 2 also rejected the notion that the gravity of the alleged offenses would warrant a high court hearing. The seriousness of the allegations cannot transform an unimportant legal issue into an important one. No, somebody fucked up here, because that's Idiot 2's name. That should be the justice's name. Why would the guy that got convicted not want his appeal? That doesn't make sense. That's this fucking country. And just for fucking kicks, let's see what the federal minister says here. We heard him mouth off. Public safety minister. They keep calling him that. Say Bill Blair. Just say Bill Blair. Mr. PMS, Public Minister of Safety, PMS, Bill Blair, says RCMP have met wetsuit conditions. Remember, he's a municipal cop. He's not RCMP. He's not military. He's a municipal cop. Public Safety Minister Bill Blair says the RCMP in British Columbia has offered to move its officers to a town away from the area where traditional leaders of the Wet'suwet'en First Nation have been opposing a pipeline project on their territory. Okay, so we didn't ask you to move 10 kilometers down the road, 300 fucking miles from nowhere. We asked you to go about 600 miles down that fucking road, you dumb motherfucker. You see the ocean? Go over it. You're Caucasoid. You could go straight over the fucking Bering Strait. I know where you're from, you dumb motherfucker. Blair said on Pride, there's a reason they don't post his picture up every time he speaks publicly anymore. He's the poster boy for Aryan Brotherhood. Blair said on Parliament Hill Thursday morning he believes this move meets the conditions set by the Wet'suwet'en hereditary chiefs, and the barricade set up in solidarity with that nation should come down. You called it a nation. Thank you. He didn't. The media did. He didn't say he believes. They're not quoting what he said. It's time they should come down. He says, I believe the time has come now for the barricades to come down. My barricade hasn't gone up yet, you pussy hole. Stop melting off like you don't fucking watch all this shit and monitor all this shit. They used to, the TPS used to come visit me for saying things on the internet. Oh, who was the chief of TPS? The toilet paper service? Was this Mr. PMS Blair? You're not in charge of the RCMP or the TPS, so what the fuck are you doing? We have met the condition, no you haven't, that those who are on the barricades, he won't call us by name, had said was important to them. Okay, so you're talking in the past tense about what you think is important to us. Before they would change their posture, this isn't a posture. We're not posturing, stupid. Real niggas don't need to profile. You're not fucking listening, stupid. You've been fucking harassing and beating my ass for like 30 fucking years, and I'm supposed to let it go now and stop being a thug? You see them little youths cutting up the fucking RBC employees? There's 2 million of them tomorrow not going to be in school. You're going to tell us what to do? You're fucking stupid. You should be prioritizing, dumbass. And that work has been done. No. What work? He's citing something that wasn't said. We have met the condition that those who are on the barricades had said was important to them before they would change their posture, and that work has been done, and I think quite appropriately. What work? Work has been done. What are you talking about? That's our work. We put in work. Kirk McGurk. Captain O'Malley. You think it was done appropriately. You think it was done, but you're not. What work? We didn't tell you what work to do. We told you to stop trying to do work. And you didn't meet any condition, bro. The Wet'suwet'ens with us, hereditary chiefs. These are the hereditary chiefs that the Wet'suwet'en own, right? Oppose the Coastal GasLink project that would bring natural gas to a liquefaction facility and export terminal on the BC coast. Nationwide protests and blockades followed a move by RCMP to enforce a court injunction earlier this month against the hereditary chiefs and their supporters, who had been obstructing an access road to the company's work site. The hereditary chiefs have demanded the RCMP's 420 Universal Time leave their traditional land and have refused to meet with federal or provincial officials until this was done. Yeah, so today you're going to come meet with us, and we're not even in that province, because you didn't do what was told of you to do. It's not a request. You are not being asked to peacefully meet a requirement or nothing. You're being told. You're being told to get the fuck off that land. All the buildings that we built that you fucking told us if we don't move back a mile, you're going to kill us all and take them anyway. I'm supposed to forget about that. You deserve this natural gas export pipeline that doesn't benefit any of you directly, but you deserve it somehow to go in. But we don't deserve the three-phase electrical power we're paying for. We're paying for the electricity. Out of our money. It don't come from no government. So instead of giving us 3-phase, they give us 3 single-phase lines. Each one together, and so altogether it costs more than a single 3-phase line, because that's what they do. They charge more for the service you're not asking for, and they refuse to bring you the service you need. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is under increasing pressure to end the blockades. It's not up to him. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau ain't in charge of shit. He can end that pipeline that he thinks he's going to build. With Conservatives calling for the government to use force, while the Liberal government insists negotiations are the only way to a lasting solution. It's extremely phallic. The pipeline is phallic, and it's white. It's this small penis syndrome, like getting a huge car because it's an extension of your dick. So the Conservatives are trying to convince the drama teacher to use force to run this dick. Where's this gas going to come from, man? So in 2013, they're claiming we don't have enough gas. They got to blow up Micmac land to get more gas. There's no gas there to get. And hydraulic fracturing has been shown to not work. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't increase yields. Blair said the decision to move officers away from their outpost on the traditional Wet'suwet'en territory to the nearby town of Houston was a decision made by the RCMP in BC, and added that he agrees it was the right move. He agreed. I agree. Moving them off the territory was the right move. So they've moved now because I said I agreed that they had done it. All right. You agree that it's been done, so it's been done. So I'm too stupid to see that you didn't do it yet. Quote, I'm very proud of the work that was done by the leadership of the RCMP. They didn't do anything yet. The commitment to peaceful resolution of these complex issues is, I think, quite commendable. Commendable, because that's not normal for police, right? And Canadians should be very proud of the work that they do. The fuck, they're the most chauvinist organization in Canada. They're known for it. When they shot up those cops, those RCMP in Mayerthorpe, the woman got shot at. The 4 male officers ran behind stuff and would not lean out to shoot back or nothing. They let her get shot the fuck up and killed because she's just a bitch. She's just a woman, so who the fuck cares? You're pussy holes. You hide behind your women all the time. Terry Nguyen did the same thing at the steakhouse. Try getting a piece of ass now. Now that everybody knows that you hide behind bitches. Quote, it's moving towards a less confrontational and a more peaceable arrangement entirely appropriate to the circumstances, and I'm very hopeful that will satisfy the concerns that were raised. I don't think so.
After talks go nowhere tonight. Meantime, we've got a presumptive case of coronavirus in BC. We'll have the details for you straight ahead.
680 News Time, 11:23.
Do you suffer from CRA male anxiety? Does the sight of a brown envelope make you sweat? Are the envelopes piling up? Don't know where to start? We do at Mark Feldstein and Associates. We deal with this every day. It's time to take control and start sleeping at night. Call Mark Feldstein and Associates, chartered accountants now at pound tax. That's the # tax. Or visit markfeldstein.ca. So the next time you see a brown envelope, think pound tax.
The 680 News Insider Club. It pays to belong.
This week, you could win a 4-pack of tickets to the home show, The Big One. Whether you want your home to match your personality, match your passion, or match nothing at all, the home show, The Big One has over 800 vendors and experts to help you make your space your way. Plus, it's 2 events, 1 ticket. Entrance to Canada Blooms is included.
Visit 680news.com for your chance to win and to sign up for the Insider Club.
This new segment brought to you by your Toronto area Ford dealers. The Trudeau government believing the rail blockades across the country should be lifted now that the RCMP has offered to withdraw officers from the disputed area of the Wet'suwet'en First Nation in BC.
As the government looks for solutions, Public Safety Minister Bill Blair says the RCMP has offered to withdraw from the original blockade site.
Redeploy their officers to a nearby town, to Houston. This is indirect.
Yeah, you didn't leave, you redeployed.
Have been raised by the hereditary chiefs.
Mounties will still be on the Wet'suwet'en territory, but Blair believes it's enough to end the Solidarity rail blockades. That's not the feeling of Molly Wickham-Slido, a representative for the Wet'suwet'en.
2 hours.
Blair's comments disrespectful,
2 hours.
saying the government hasn't fully engaged with hereditary chiefs, and this is just a media strategy.
An attempt to diffuse the direct action from coast to coast.
Indigenous Services Minister Mark Miller has offered to meet the
Indigenous
chiefs.
Ready to go on a moment's notice.
The fuck is Indigenous Services?
Quebec over the next few days. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Your business report in 60 seconds.
680 News Time, 11:25.
Let's do some effort.
We don't provide any services to anybody indigenous. None. None. We pay for all of it out of pocket. What service do you provide indigenous people? You steal money out of our bank accounts. That's it. That's not a service. That's 14 years in jail in this country. Ask my mother. She stole my money too, right? Oh, I know all about trust funds. You think I'm just some fucking privileged white boy? Not even close.
Get the truck that's built for you. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
Hi, I'm Chef Mark McEwen, here to talk about my new store, McEwen Fine Foods at Yonge and Bloor. The newest McEwen location offers a full shopping experience with a wide selection of restaurant-quality prepared foods. Stop by for fresh produce, specialty ingredients, and do try my house-made recipes. There's 1 hour free parking available, and you can even order ready-made meals online at McEwenCatering.com. We look forward to serving you at 1 Bloor East.
City News Time, 11:26.
Now the business report. Richardson.
Good evening. Here's an interesting one. New analysis finds that the money the U.S. federal government spends on U.S. President Trump's golf trips amounts to him being America's 10th highest paid athlete. The Washington Post estimates the U.S. taxpayer shells out some $130 million for Trump to hit the links, something he's done about 250 times since becoming president. In those 3 years, no billionaire, no team owner, no sports organization, no company has paid a human more to play golf, according to The Root magazine. In fact, using Forbes' list of highest paid athletes, Trump ties for 10th among America's best paid athletes and 17th in the world. Trump's salary, if you want to call it that, is the same as Los Angeles Angels superstar Mike Trout, whose 12-year, $426 million deal was the richest contract in sports history for team sports. Right on the markets, a bit of a home run here for the Bay Street stock market again. The TSX picking up just 18 points today, so good enough for another record at 17,944. We saw strength for the financial group today, strength for the energy group with oil up to $53.78. Weakness for Loblaws, the grocer shares down 1.6%, $69.92. Its fourth quarter profit up from a year earlier, but fell short of expectations. On Wall Street, the Dow fell 128 points, down to 29,219. S&P down 12, the NASDAQ fell 66 points today. It was largely on coronavirus concern. There was a spike in the number of cases outside of the United States. Domino's Pizza said strong carryout sales helped it get better than expected financial results in the fourth quarter, despite increasing competition from delivery companies like Uber Eats and DoorDash. Domino's stock, which has been a high flyer, up again today. Some 25% to $373 US the share. Canadian dollar, 75.43 cents US. Top stories are next on 680 News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. It's the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada. That's ZipRecruiter.ca/CANADA. ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada.
This is CFTR 680 News at the Double Tones. 11:30.
Number one for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Scott Burnett and Christine Ritchie.
Good evening. This is Thursday, February 20th.
Here's what's making news right now.
Talks break down between the Ford government and Ontario Catholic teachers. This ahead of job action by the four major teachers' unions tomorrow. that is expected to shut down schools across Ontario.
Another suspected case of coronavirus turns up in BC tonight. This coming as a plane carrying hundreds of Canadians from that quarantine cruise ship expected to land at CFE Trenton early tomorrow morning.
It's back to the drawing board for Ontario license plates. The Ford government calling the new blue plates defective.
A severe crash with tragic consequences. An 80-year-old woman dies in hospital after two vehicles get severely damaged in the crash in Vaughan outside a shopping plaza.
The Maple Leafs pick up a much-needed win over the Pittsburgh Penguins, while the Florida Panthers battle the Kings in Los Angeles. Sports at 45. Another record-smashing day at the corner of King and Bay. Red ink on the big board and Victoria's Secret sold. Business at 56.
7:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carla Donoghue.
This report's brought to you by iasecurities.ca. We do have a few spots hitting hard in the delays right now. It's all because of construction. We'll start with the westbound 401. Approaching the 400 in the collectors, we do have two left lanes closed off for some construction. That is causing delays approaching Kiel to the 400 in both express and collectors. On the eastbound 401, at Weston Road in the collectors, two left lanes closed off there. Bayview and at Leslie in the express, a right lane is blocked for some maintenance. That's starting to slow things down in the express lanes from approaching Bayview at this time. And then the north and southbound Morningside ramps to the east 401 are shut down as well. And then we're seeing delays also on the westbound Gardner west of Kipling in the express. Two left lanes are closed off for delays. We're seeing delays approaching, or rather for construction, we're seeing delays approaching Kipling to the 427. And then once you're on the West QEW at Ford Drive, two left lanes are closed off there, and that's causing delays approaching the 403 to Royal Windsor. So it's a little slow going on the West 401 and the westbound Gardner and West QEW, but otherwise everything else is in great shape right now. We do have the southbound 427 collector ramp to the Gardner closed off at this time, and that is for maintenance as well. At IA Securities, advisors don't just build the wealth of their clients, they invest in a relationship of trust. Visit iasecurities.ca.
That doesn't make sense. You're going to make money off of my trust.
High pressure taking over. That means
My
clear
trust
skies
shouldn't
tonight,
matter.
sunshine
You're
through the
still
day
an
tomorrow.
investment
We'll wake
matter.
up to wind chills of minus 17 and get up to 2 degrees through the afternoon. Southwest wind 25 to 40 kilometers per hour. Through the night tonight, we're down to a low of minus 10 degrees.
And right now in downtown Toronto, we've got a mostly clear sky, -8, feeling like -14. 6:80 news time, 11:33.
Talks between the province and Ontario's English Catholic teachers have broken off tonight with no deal. This ahead of job action by the four major teachers unions tomorrow that is expected to shut down schools right across Ontario.
680's Phil Martino tells us Ontario's public school teachers are planning a huge protest at the legislature tomorrow to coincide with the walkout.
Harvey Bischoff, president of the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation, tells me we're looking at a first.
For the first time in history, all four education unions will be taking legal strike action in response to the four government's cuts to education.
In Toronto, the legislature is the only picket location. Organizers are expecting 30,000 teachers and supporters on the lawn of Queen's Park. In response to the strike action by the four teachers unions, Minister of Education Stephen Lecce released a statement that reads in part, "Your child should be in class. They should not be the casualty of union-led escalation. The focus of union leaders ought to be on negotiating a deal that keeps students in class." I'm Phil Martino.
British Columbia has recorded its sixth presumptive case of coronavirus. It was found in a woman in her 30s who recently traveled to Iran. The worldwide death toll from COVID-19 is now nearly 2,500 out of over 76,000 cases, mostly in mainland China. As 680's Ria Renouf reports, the BC woman is the first to test positive in the province after visiting a country other than China. The woman is from the Fraser Health Region, and Provincial Health Officer Dr. Bonnie Henry says she is in isolation at home.
Fraser Health is actively investigating the close contacts, and a number have already been put in isolation. We'll be doing a detailed investigation of her travel, when her symptoms started, and determine whether we need to investigate or notify people who are on the aircraft she returned in.
The woman went to Iran in January and returned this week with flu-like symptoms. Now, this case appears to be a mild form of COVID-19, which still needs final confirmation from the National Microbiology Lab. I'm Ria Renouf.
And happening right now, the charter flight sent to bring Canadians who were held in quarantine on board a cruise ship in Japan is now on its way back to Canada.
More than 200 Canadians spent over 2 weeks in quarantine aboard the cruise ship, a place the Director General of the World Health Organization says COVID-19 was able to spread.
Of all cases outside China, more than half are among passengers on the Diamond Princess cruise ship.
The flight chartered by the federal government is now on its way home from Japan. It's expected to touch down at CFB Trenton early tomorrow morning, at which point those passengers will be examined again and then moved to Cornwall, where they will be put back into quarantine for up to 14 days. Here in Ontario, health officials say the man who was the first confirmed case of COVID-19 is now clear of the virus. I'm Owen Qureshi.
Police officers say they are having problems reading the new blue Ontario license plate. 680's Richard Southern has the latest on Plategate.
It's take 2 on the plates. New ones are on the way. Premier Ford's office says a new quote-unquote enhanced license plate is being developed with 3M. It will be ready in less than 3 weeks. It says for those drivers who already have the new plate,
why don't you get them made by Trelcor like the fucking clothes?
Many, including some police officers, complained that new blue plates just weren't visible at night. It wasn't until yesterday the Ford government admitted there was an issue with the plates. Richard Southern, 680 News.
Now they're calling them
the
defective. It's not the design. These ones are
A
defective.
crash between a Maserati and an SUV in Vaughan kills a woman in her 80s and sends 4 others to hospital. 680 Stuart McGinn joins us from the senior Rutherford of the 400.
It's a crash many people who live in this area tell me sadly comes as no surprise because it's a stretch of Rutherford Road that's notorious for speeding. Police haven't yet said whether speed played a role in the crash, but they did confirm an 80-year-old woman has since died of her injuries. The front end of a blue Maserati was left crunched. A black SUV damaged at every angle, showing all the signs it might have rolled over after it was struck at the entrance to this shopping plaza here in Vaughan. York Police Constable Andrew Bell tells me somehow another vehicle became involved in this crash.
The third vehicle came into collision following the initial impact, and that driver had no serious injuries.
That victim was among 3 others sent to hospital with minor injuries. Police are asking now any witnesses to come forward as they try to piece together what happened. In Vaughan, at Rutherford and Weston, I'm Stuart McGinn.
Well, he may be in charge of overseeing government spending, but the Ministry of Labor found that his campaign wasn't always paying his staff. Christina Halloran from City News reports on the President of Treasury Board's incomplete campaign finance reports.
In May, the Ministry of Labor had to issue an order to Bethany Falvey's constituency office to pay former campaign staffer Christine Brady back pay and administrative costs of about $500. After several months, the Ministry of Labor had to use a collections agency to get Brady her money. And she finally got her check today.
Peter, his wife, the CFO of the Writing Association, that all tried to just block me from getting what I was owed.
Bethany Falvey says he wasn't aware of the problem until after the campaign.
And I would direct that I'll ask the Chief Electoral Officer.
Fair to you?
I'm going to let the Chief Electoral Officer look into it.
Christina Halloran, City News.
680 News Time, 11:38. Happening right now, another scheduled subway closure on Line 1. The Young University Line service has ended for the night between Finch and St. Clair stations for workers to do some scheduled maintenance. Shuttle buses are running. Regular service will resume in time for the morning commute.
And coming up in 30 seconds, we'll look at some rising gas prices.
680 News Time, 11:39.
Think gummy bears are innocent? What if I told you that I triple dip and lick my fingers in between?
What does that
Or
mean?
that I always bring 50 items through the express checkout.
Because that's
I'm
what you
also
do on
infused with
weed,
cannabis.
right?
But my
That
high's
makes a lot of
delayed and
sense.
unpredictable.
Gummy bears are going to get up and start talking to you if they have cannabis in them. That makes a lot of fucking sense, eh? This is what they're worried about. You're gonna start fucking hallucinating if you eat a gummy bear. I don't know where the fuck you're going. Well, it says Wet'suwet'en hereditary chiefs to meet with Tyendinaga Mohawks Friday. Mohawk protesters along the rail line in Tyendinaga have vowed not to move until the BC RCMP move out of traditional Wet'suwet'en First Nation territory. Now that RCMP have offered to do so, no, they haven't. Will the protesters head home? And Since she probably didn't write this, I'm not going to say her name. It says blah 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 reports. They haven't offered to do so. They're already claiming they've done it. They're already claiming to have done it. Now this came out after saying they've offered to do so. No, you haven't offered to do shit.
Savings up to $4,000 on select models. Visit the Land Rover display at the Canadian International Auto Show for details. Hurry, offers end March 2nd. Land Rover, above and beyond.
11:41.
And with her eyes on the roads, here's Carly W. This report is brought to you by Air Canada Vacations. Right now, if you're traveling on the eastbound 401 at Weston in the collectors, 2 left lanes are closed for maintenance work. Then at Leslie in the express, a right lane's closed. And same at Bayview, actually, in the express, we have a right lane closed. So those 2 things working together are causing delays approaching Bayview in the express lanes on the east 401. The Morningside ramps are also blocked off right now, headed onto that highway. If you're on the westbound 401, approaching the 400 in the collectors, we have 2 left lanes closed off for maintenance work. That's causing delays approaching Kiel to the 400 in both express and collectors. Westbound Gardner, west of Kipling in the express, 2 left lanes are blocked off, and that's causing delays approaching Kipling. Then once you're on the westbound QEW at Ford Drive, 2 left lanes are closed there, and we're seeing delays approaching the 403 to Royal Windsor. Otherwise, on the southbound 427, the collector ramp to the Gardner is currently closed. But other than that, your major routes are in good shape. Just on the southbound 400 at Kirby approaching Teston, we've got 2 left lanes closed, but there's no delays in that area. Catch Cuba with Air Canada Vacations. Buy one sunny escape to Memories Veradero and bring your favorite person along for 50% off. Visit aircanadavacations.com today. Your next report's at 11:51 with the forecast. Here's Natasha Ramsahai.
Under mainly clear skies tonight, we are dropping to -10. Morning wind chills near -17. That's seasonal for this time of year. And it's a sunny Friday. Good way to end off the week with a high of 2 degrees.
So
no precipitation.
Southwest
wind up to 40 kilometers per hour. It's clear Friday night if you've got plans. And then Saturday morning could be slick in some spots. We've got some flurries expected. But then we're going to clear out into sunshine again through the afternoon. Saturday's high, 5 degrees. Tonight we're down to a low of -10 degrees.
Downtown Toronto this hour, mostly clear sky, -8, feeling like -14 with the wind chill at Pearson this hour, clear and -11. The wind chill sitting at -15. 680 news time, 11:43.
Residents of a street near Albion Mall in Rexdale have been allowed back into their homes tonight after toxic gas levels were detected in the neighborhood. Fire officials were called this afternoon about the smell of gas on Balburn Road near Albion Road and Finch Avenue West. 8 homes had to be evacuated for several hours as crews flushed a solvent out of the sewer system. Coming up in health and lifestyle news at 11:48. So what's going to happen to your garbage collection and snow removal if city workers go on strike next week? The city says it has a contingency plan. Details up next.
680 news time, 11:44.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Want some free money? Transfer an RRSP or TFSA to Meridian before March 2nd, and you can get a 1% cash bonus. Real, genuine, free money. Visit meridiancu.ca to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm here with Bill Coy of Coy Brothers, and we're talking about Coy Brothers 1 and Coy Brothers 2.
One's bricks and mortar, and the second is a